part 3, the final part here.
Uh-huh.
We laughed.
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah. I think we can get through it today. We last left off talking about 2005. Issued the challenge to Thumbtack Jack. Since then, he's broke his back. He's retired.
Did he break his back? I
Yeah.
just heard his neck. It was his back.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, brother.
So I want to start off controversial right from the get-go. Best of the best, Mike Quackenbush wins that year. That's the first year you never come out and hand out the trophy. Why so?
I don't know. Did you book that?
Yeah.
Probably why. No, I don't know. I'm not a big Mike Quackenbush fan, to be honest with you. I think he's a closet ant fucker. I don't know. It's a little weird for me. I really don't know why I didn't do that. Maybe I didn't like it. I don't know. You know, sometimes I acted in moods, you know what I mean? That's the way I was. Not that that's the right thing, because you should always be in the game, but there was times when I acted, you know, you got to set your personal feelings aside and do what's right for the show. But there's, you know, I'm human. So that may be why. I'll be honest. You know, I also can't remember everything.
Right.
But it's possible. Never a fan of you, Mike. I'll tell you. Is he married?
Yes, he is.
All right, never mind.
Yeah, it was never closet homo. Always had girlfriends.
He's just fucking weird, dude. The dude is fucking weird. He's just a strange fucking bird.
It's wrestling, isn't everyone strange?
You know what?
Yeah.
There's a lot of strange ones out there. Yeah.
At that time, you merged as CZW and the Chikara School. Looking back on it, what do you think the pros, the cons were?
There was no pros for CZW. It was a waste of fucking time. Quackenbush basically wanted to get in there to get himself into the building and, you know, get in Roger's ear, just like everybody does. You're all the same fucking way. You're a bunch of fucking backstabbing fucking jerk-offs. Every fucking one of you. It was supposed to be a thing where they did the training, we provided the platform, you know, it sounded good. He had the other kid with him, who was the tall
Chris
kid?
Hero.
Chris Hero was helping him. Hero is real good technically. Again, I'm not a big fan of Chris Hero, but I know he has a lot of fans. I'm not a fan of his style, but he definitely knows, you know, he knows his moves, he knows how to wrestle. His training, I think I liked his training better than Quackenbush. Quackenbush talks more, I think, and rolls around like a fucking monkey. And then you got the other kid. Actually, I think he taught the guys more. He taught them how to bump. Where Quackenbush, I think he does everything but bump. You know what I mean? When it comes to training, that was just my opinion. But I mean, as far as the training part, I mean, that part would have been good for the guys. But it's just, that's not what it was. It was all about Quackenbush trying to build himself up, you know, inside of CZW is all it was. And it didn't do a fucking thing for us. As you know, we went separate fucking ways. He starts doing fucking half-ass shows in the arena on Sunday, you know, and shit like that. So, fuck you, Quackenbush.
While we're on that topic, why don't we do it to Chris Hero?
I don't know. What is to say about Chris Hero? I mean, the fans liked him. I wasn't a fan. No offense. I mean, I'm not a fan of everybody. But, you know, this is one of those times where I said sometimes personal feelings get involved. Well, this is also where personal feelings didn't. Just because I don't like him, it didn't mean that I'm not stupid. I got eyes and I got ears, and fans liked him. You know what I mean?
Correct.
So that's why he was there. I don't know. What did he do? Did he leave? Did he quit? Did he get fired? I don't remember.
I think he quit or you fired him at the end. Before that, you know, there was always the thoughts of doing a program with you and Chris, and you were always against it. I think we teased it when we did the junkyard match. You know, we're doing a little, you know, trying to go down that angle. But you said you would never wrestle him. Is there a reason why? You just didn't think it would be a good match, or?
Did we ever do anything at the arena? Did I ever say anything? Nothing? Did we ever? I don't know. I probably, as far as the match goes, probably not. Probably wouldn't be a good match.
With Hero and Kingston, it was a loser's leave with the plan of a Hero leaving CZW after he lost the match. Then you came down and fired Kingston. That's what happened there. So Hero was planning on leaving, and then you fired Kingston at the right
that's
after that.
Kingston was running his mouth. Oh, and then at the end of the match, he was supposed to. Was he supposed to take a clothesline?
Yeah, I think you were supposed to bump him.
Pussy. Yeah, Kingston was supposed to take a fucking clothesline, and he fucking sat in the fucking corner like a fucking bitch. Nobody was going to hurt you, dude. I wasn't out to fucking hurt you. It was fucking the wrestling business. It was part of the fucking show. And you punked out. We've talked since briefly, but you punked out, dude.
During that summer, we did the combined shows. We did the IWA Mid South. We did the Chikara and the IWS. What were your thoughts on running, head to head with another promotion the same day?
When we did them in the arena, you mean?
Right. Yeah, that was the summer of 2005.
It was another thing where I think it benefited other people more so than the benefit of CZW. I don't think we needed to do it. Mike, every time you open that bottle, we're hearing, it's coming right up.
I know.
Son of a
bitch.
Yeah, so I don't really think it benefited CZW at all. The IWA, did we do something with IWA?
Yeah, that was the first one. The main idea there was to help the summer draws by having a combined show and then
Right.
cut half the rent.
But it didn't really, I don't think it really helped like we thought. The only thing
The June one we did well, but the other two.
The only thing that I feel did well with the IWA was that very first, I think
first
it might have
annual.
been the first thing that we did a long time
Right,
ago.
in 2003.
It was very quiet. Nobody knew about it. I think we even kept it from the locker room. A lot of the locker room didn't even know. And it was in everybody's face and like, holy shit, how'd they pull that off?
Right.
As much as everybody knows I hate Ian to boot, they would have
Right.
never expected that back then. So that was the best thing that ever happened with them. And the Chikara thing, the only good thing about Chikara with CZW that we've ever done, I've ever done, or you've ever done, as far as I'm concerned, not that there isn't some talent that came out of there. I'm not knocking everybody. But as far as for a CZW show, is when we would throw a Chikara 6-man in. And Quackenbush could be in that match with his boys
Right.
and perform, like $1 million.
Right, when we did that in 04.
Right. So, that was the thing I liked about Chikara. They gave us, how it's like, everybody thinks we're always ultra-violent or hardcore, but it's always been hardcore and, high-flying or
hard
comedy
hitting.
or whatever. Yep. And, we tried the hard hit, and I guess we got to it, but it wasn't ever any of that, that kind, but I guess it got to it. But that 6-man that they would do, or an 8-man or whatever, you put Quackenbush and all his dudes in the fucking ring, and they
Right.
flipping and flying and doing their thing, that was good stuff. But in my opinion, a whole fucking show of that, it's like going to a fucking ROH show and sitting through a fucking whole show of fucking, arm locks and all that kind of shit, headlocks. So I don't know what good it did for us. And who are the other guys? IWS, is that from
Right,
Canada?
yep.
They're just too far away. And, it's hard getting the right guys, the same guys all the time. We had, I hope you ain't bringing donuts for these guys. We'll never get this done.
Never get it done.
Yeah, they were too far away. Again, some good talent. All the groups you're talking about,
Right.
some good talent came out of. Of course, Ian Rotten is probably the least of the talent out of everybody that we're talking about. You fucking hamburger head punk motherfucker. What else? Who
I guess you are
on
gonna-
IWS. Who?
Steen,
I know I'm getting away from what you're talking about, but
yeah, the
Steen-
IWS show
Steen
really
I
was
don't like. Who? Eddie? No.
Sexy Eddie.
Sexy Eddie, that kid was. I got tapes from him and pictures years in advance, and
Right.
fucking finally it was like, all right, we're ready for Sexy Eddie, and like he came down and took everybody by storm, and then just like a lot of people do, he decided he wanted to back off of what got him over here was the hardcore stuff. So
Right, because that June show was when you did Eddie. We did Eddie and Ruckus in the cage as the main event, and that just really fell flat.
Was it a bunch of them? That
No,
was that all the young kids or no?
No, it was just Ruckus and Sexy Eddie in the cage. That was the main event of the June doubleheader with Mid-South.
Okay.
And that match really fell flat because that was like Eddie was on his rise up,
Right.
and he was
then
doing
he's
it doing against Claude for the title, and the match just didn't deliver.
Right. Did he backed off of the hardcore? I'm going to assume back.
He was starting to back off then.
And that happened. But I still liked Eddie. Eddie went out performing. Anybody goes out in their fucking underwear and light tubes and barbed wire, well, he's got some
Yeah.
fucking balls. You know what I mean? But I did like him. Who the hell else from there was really Steen? I wasn't a fan of. The Ass Punch Kid. He was funny, very respectful. Didn't do a whole hell of a lot, but I mean, he's one of those WWE
Right,
guys.
beef.
You know, beef. Go do 3 things and hit somebody in the ass and get your pop and go
Right.
home. You know what I mean? So
And then the other main guy we used was Frankie the Mobster.
the mobster, yeah, he wasn't the mains. It seemed like we had him a few times.
Right.
He kind of had that look coming out to the ring. You know what I mean? But that was the problem with them. I think it's too far away for them really to come and do their kind of show. They do get away with some shit out there. I don't know how they get away with it in Canada and some of the places. So I don't think that they could really do what they wanted to do. Just
Right.
like we couldn't use some of them to the advantage that we would like to do.
Right,
Philly.
with Philly.
But we tried. CZW's always tried everything. We've tried working with a lot of different people, and it just seemed like it always benefited everybody else more so than us.
Going into that year
Put him in the
tournament,
basement.
that year tournament of death, Frank and Roger led you to believe that we were going to be able to do it in Philly. Do you remember that debacle?
Yeah.
And then we had to scramble, I don't know, what did we have to, a week to find a place to run it?
Probably.
And then we ran it at the Blue Diamond.
Mm-hmm. It's a pretty big crowd there, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I think that was probably the biggest crowd we had for
Yeah.
for a tournament. Looking back on Tournament of Death, that would be 4. Memories. That's where we saw the debut pretty much of Danny Havoc and Wax. In the Battle Royal, Shawnee got his nose cut open.
Yeah. Was that the guy's leg in the
Blood, yeah.
Yeah, that was that was a boo boo. The guy that got his leg hurt, Shawnee's nose. I think lack of experience, obviously, on both people, and probably lack of judgment on my part. Lack of talking to, maybe, explaining to these guys what to do a little more. I mean, sometimes you just think everybody knows what they're doing, and although a lot of times I do take people aside and put my 2 cents in, and I think I kind of let that get away from me on that one. So that's probably the worst memory for me. As far as Wax goes, my brother, a very good friend of mine, shouldn't have been in there. Very good with the bleeding and everything, and got a hell of a senton, but I still feel he needs training, regular training, or either that or he's going to go around and just be a Pondo for the rest of his life, and Pondo's making a living at, and the wrestling business without even knowing how to bump. But Wax is a lot better friend of mine than what Pondo ever was, and dude, just fucking train and get yourself better. All right. What else happened there? Just give me a
Gage.
What was the main event?
You, Gage, and Necro.
Was there
The fire
was that the
incense.
suplex, half a suplex over the top?
Yeah, where
And
Gage
there
caught
was-
on fire.
There was something else too. Yeah, he was rolling around
There was
outside.
the levels of glass, and then the wood, and then they dumped all the
Yeah.
lighter fluid in, and when it broke, it basically went into a V,
Right.
and all the fluid soaked
Nikki
into
laid
us.
in that, and
Yeah.
I went to the side.
Right.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking nasty. I didn't know how bad it was because I believe I was laying over the other
Because you were
way.
still left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was kind of over the other side, and Nikki was rolling. I think he went rolling towards the other way, but when I seen the fucking replay, that was like, holy shit. I guess that was you guys, slow motion and all that shit. That was fucking awesome. Thank God Nikki didn't get it was the back of his neck, wasn't it?
Yeah, and his back.
His
He-
back and
yeah.
in the back of his neck. Yeah, he did get burnt pretty good. I remember after that, I think he used to go, John, no more fire, please, no more fire, John. I mean, he wasn't crying, people, so don't fucking go calling Nick Gage a fag. He was just like, no fire. He was hot. He was on fire, man. That dude, he was burned up. But, I'm sure he went back, and I'm sure he's done fire since,
Yeah, I think so, probably.
Matter of fact, in DJ's parents' backyard, there was
Because
some
they,
that was, I don't remember who he
Yeah,
worked, but it was a
he worked-
barbed wire and the flames.
Yeah.
He worked deranged.
Deranged to do
Right.
with the orange
Yeah, the
jumpsuit. Okay.
prison jumpsuit. Another big match that day was the tag match, where it was Marino and Kingston and you and Joker. Just Joker just came back.
I think I like that.
Yeah, that was probably one of the best,
Yeah, I think
I
like
think,
it.
hardcore tag matches ever.
Yeah, I thought I liked that match. I think Robbie might have fucked up in there a little bit. I think I had.
And Ruckus was in there too, because it was 3-on-2.
I remember the thumbtack bat. where he just like raked it across his back, and you can hear it like.
Oh,
tear
on Robbie's back,
on
yeah.
Robbie's back.
Yeah, I think he fucked up a little bit. I think I had to get a little heavy
Yep.
on him in there. And I believe, was that Kingston? Maybe the first
Yeah,
time
Kingston.
he ever really, he was
He
stepping
did
up.
hardcore,
I
yeah.
think he was trying to like.
Yeah. Because him and
impress
Joker
me
did a
or-
lot of like, they did the Crown of Thorn headbutts.
Okay, yeah, that was good. I don't remember every bit of it, but I do remember. I thought that was a good match. I thought it had good moments in it for sure. Yeah, and Kingston was like afterwards, you know what I mean? He broke his cherry, you know what I mean? It
Right.
felt good, didn't it, motherfucker? But I remember it was that was good. That was good, and the crowd was good. And we fucking sold out all their fucking food at that
Before,
place.
I think before it even
And
started.
everybody made money, sold all kinds of shit, and then we tried to go back next year, and they said, no, sorry, you can't come back. Like,
Yeah.
why not? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You made all kind they said new management or something, and they wouldn't even get on the phone. We don't even want to talk to you. We're
Right.
just, no, you can't come back. We're like, here we go again. Another fucking year. We need another fucking spot to do Tournament of Death.
Yeah, I remember you're like, you spent $1,000? I'm like, we had a week to find the place.
It's fucking nuts. But it was a good crowd. It was a great spot. It was away from everybody, you know.
Not on
It
the
was-
highway.
Yeah, that was good for a fucking year. We get the places for multiple years that suck. There ain't enough room.
Right.
There's no parking.
Yeah, like the breakaway,
Breakaway. Yeah.
where you're able to fit in 200 or 300 people. You know what I
Remember
mean?
we had to hire a bus to drive people across the street.
Right. You start to phase yourself out around right after that. You know what I mean? You're like not at a lot of the shows, but we do the junkyard death match. It was you, JC, and Nikki, correct? How did you set that up?
As far as what, doing a show at the junkyard?
Yeah. Like,
I think the reason it came about, I think because we had full intentions and we started doing the Ultraviolent Underground
Correct.
at the arena, unfilmed, no fans, because it should be nobody's business but ours, because we're
Correct.
not selling tickets. And, of course, we get shut down after the first show, trip to Harrisburg, argue with the fucking lawyers and
Yep.
Serb and everybody. And the bottom line, no, don't do it. If you do it, you get fucking shut down or fined. So we had to find some other place to do a show. And I just happened to know the guy who had the little junkyard that we did. And he's actually, him and his son are CZW fans. And they had came to, they didn't come to all the shows, but they always made Tournament of Death. And he says, why don't you use a junkyard? And that's kind of how that came about. And we, went over and set the ring up and did the same thing, though. I mean, we didn't sell tickets to it. We just filmed it, trying to be legal like we always are. We're always trying to do the right thing. And that turned out pretty good. JC took that fucking bump in that nasty green
Ugh.
fucking water. I remember when I scooped him up in the ring, I says, take the water, brother, please. All right, man. I picked him up and threw him in the fucking water.
how far do you think we could have gone on the UVU if we were able to do it in Philly? Like, I mean, it was a great idea.
Yeah. One match a month, I think would have been fine. I think would have been great. I think people would have got into it. We were just getting started on it. We could have had better sound effects, maybe where the fans heard the action going on a little better, and maybe the wrestlers could have heard the reaction a little better. I think a little more of that kind of stuff would have made it even better. I mean, but you remember the area. I mean, we're starting out on a freaking leaky roof, unlevel freaking floors, but it was a spot that we could have done just about anything in there, if they would have let us go. And I think it would have helped. It would have been great,
Do you think it would have kept your interest in doing, because like once you lost the hardcore aspect and they tightened up even more, I think that helped you become distant from the product a little bit. Because you lost like that creative juice
Yeah.
that you weren't able to.
Right. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, that could be. It could be that. It could be time. It could be everything. As you know, it was very stressful. It was stressful for me. You were involved a couple of different times. Are you even doing anything for them anymore or no?
No.
I heard rumor, but I never talked to you about it. Sorry about that. Wasn't my plan. But I don't know. I guess, people change, things change, and that could be part of it. I mean, that was where I kind of, my brain focused, you know what I mean, more so than, the whole, than everything, but it's possible.
It leads up to, there's tension growing, I think, between you and me going into Cage of Death 7 that night. We start off the show really hot. I think Cheech and Cloudy went out and basically did everything under the sun, you know, which was the opener. Then Sanjay goes out, cuts a promo, mentions TNA numerous times.
Probably pissing me off.
Pisses you off. Then Hero goes out and cuts the ROH promo, where he gets reamed.
Right.
What?
Probably pissing me off more, right?
Oh yeah.
Hero got the blunt of it. Is that what you're getting at?
Hero got the brunt of it, pretty much, and that's where the next month Ring of Honor was working. We were going to do the afternoon, they were going to do the evening, and then go into that whole angle. But he pretty much gets the brunt of it, where Sanjay gets away.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where he doesn't get reamed. Do you think that was more because, you know, I was closer with Hero, or, you know, just pretty much not liking Hero?
I don't know why. You saying this to me, I do kind of remember it, and I hated people fucking bringing up other wrestling companies.
Right, I agree.
From day one. You may remember that
Right.
asshole fucking way back in Mansion when we first started, out there fucking yelling ECW, ECW, and it turned into him getting the fucking boots and chairs and everything else under the ring. But I don't really remember exactly why. Did I hear Sanjay? I mean, was I up top? Was I listening to him? Did I hear the whole thing?
That pretty much went like unscathed, and then like
I didn't even comprehend. What was? Do you remember what the fuck was he saying?
He was just like
anything in negative, or was he?
No, he was just basically, you know, you can watch me, whatever it was, Thursday nights on TNA, and you know, he's putting it over and got away with it. And
Right.
Hero mentions, I think, Ring of Honor like 2 or 3 times, which is setting up a January angle, which we were always
The caged, what? the
like
thing?
him and Danielson, where Danielson would come in.
Yeah. I don't think I went off or reamed or whatever. I really don't remember the moment, but if you said it happened, it probably did.
Right. I mean that.
And I can see me doing it. I don't know why Sanjay got away with it and why I went off on him. I don't think it had anything to do with you.
Because after that point, that's when you're like, fuck it, I'm not doing the cage match. I mean, you were that mad.
That's
Yeah,
what
that
I
was that
lost it.
night. Yeah.
I wonder. I don't know. Maybe it was both of them. Maybe Sanjay fucking lit the fire.
And
then when he was immediately after Sanjay.
It was not much after.
Not
You know what I
much
mean?
after. Maybe he lit the fire and had my fucking wheels turning, and then when he did that, I don't know. Maybe it just fucking put me, put it over the top. It's like, what the fuck? I got 2 different fucking dudes out here with the CW, and you're saying he caught the most of it. Maybe that's why. I mean, I always hated that. And it's like, what the fuck? Why am I? In my head, I'm like, why the fuck am I doing this? You motherfuckers out here talking about other companies, and and every time we do talk about another company, try to set up an angle, like I said, it always winds up everybody else, they reap the benefits from it, and we wind up getting shit on, or nothing good happens for us. We were always struggling. Other motherfuckers just get handed shit, That's what it seems like to me anyway. So I don't know. But that was and that's tonight. We got an argument?
Oh
Right,
yeah.
Is that after that? Are you going to
Right. Yeah. I'm
Are
going
you
in.
leading to that?
Yeah, I'm going into the whole thing.
Were
You're at
you
a
booking at the time?
yeah.
Oh,
That was my last night.
okay.
So you're so pissed off. You're basically fucking. I'm not doing the cage match.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then Michael basically got in your face and said, "You need to do the match. It's advertised." And then you guys had a big blow up,
Mm-hmm.
and that leads to the infamous, throwing down the stairs. I mean, do you want to tell your side of the story?
Oh yeah. Trust me, if Michael was going to get thrown down the stairs, he'd have been thrown down the stairs. Or if he was getting thrown off the balcony, because I know there's other rumors, and he would have been thrown off the balcony. Michael didn't get thrown anywhere. But let me get back to the whole thing that led up into that. Like I said, I can't dwell on things forever,
Right.
so I kind of gotta let them go. Unlike some people, Michael takes a little longer to me. But I was probably so pissed off with everybody. Everybody's out here yelling out other companies' names, and I just said, you know what? Fuck it. You know what I mean? Why bother fucking doing it? I'm done with this fucking mess. And there's been moments like that, where I just wanted to fucking end it, and just close up shop. And that's probably what it was. And then you came to me trying to talk sense into me to, I guess, do what you got to do, get out there, and I'm like, fuck it, I ain't doing it. And I guess, I don't know, did you call Michael over? Did Michael just
we both came towards
okay.
you.
And then Michael chimed in, and at this time, and even after that, even after the show, Michael getting in my face the way he did probably actually is the one that sparked me to, you know what? Fuck it. Go do what you're supposed to do. Put your personal feelings aside, you know what I mean? Go give the people what they came for. But before I went out there and did that, Michael was running his fucking mouth, and you were up there, and he was at the top of the steps, and I went to grab him. He said something. I remember going to grab him, and it was like, you don't fucking talk to me like that, motherfucker. And when I went to grab him, he was at the top of the steps. And I didn't push him, even though he still, I think to this day, thinks that. And he did like a stutter step. Like if you ever like kind of miss a step and you like boom, boom, backwards. He kind of stutter stepped down about 2 times. And he turned around and looked, and he just zoomed down the steps, and he went back up the other side of the steps. At that time, I followed him up the other side of the steps. I don't know if it was immediate, but I went up the steps, and I walked up behind him. He was just fucking looking straight ahead at the ring, and I walked up behind, and I put my hand on the back of his shoulder, and I leaned in his ear, and I said, Mike, I says, I'm sorry, I didn't mean for you to fall. And that was all I said, and I walked away and left him alone, because when Michael's pissed off, you got to leave him alone. So I walked over to the other side, went, did the match, the whole thing, and then he's not answering phone calls. The next day or another day, he ain't answering. And I finally get him on the phone, and he tells me that I came up behind him, and I said, you fell. I'm like, you fell? Like he took, whatever he heard from me, he took it as me saying, if anybody says anything, motherfucker, you fell. That totally was not what I said. I said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean for you to fall, which I didn't. I did mean to grab him because he was fucking losing it on me.
Yeah, he got in your face.
He did, and I did mean to grab him. And if I remember, I had a fucking thing on my hand. I don't know if you remember. My hand was fucked up, and I had one of those metal fucking things that goes around your wrist right here at the time. And I don't know. I'm not trying to make excuses, but I don't know if that's why when I went to grab him, I couldn't grasp him, and he slipped, or maybe he was just on the way, and you know what I mean. And I went to grab him, and if I was going to grab him, I don't blame him for getting the fuck out of there. But Mike, I swear to you, I swear on my kids, I swear on my dead fucking son, I said, I did not push you down the steps. I did go to grab your fucking ass because you pissed me the fuck off and people don't talk to me like that. But in reality, you fucking made me wake up. I went out, did the fucking match. I think everybody went home happy except for you and I guess Burns. But the fans, obviously, it doesn't really matter, me, you, or Burns. The fans went home happy. And Mike, thanks for giving me the push. And Mike Burns, thanks for getting the push, getting my ass going and making me forget about whatever it was I was thinking about.
During the Cage of Death match, that's where Necro shoots on Justice Payne.
In the corner, right?
Right.
Beating shit on him. Is that
Payne,
after Payne threw him to the outside?
Just.
Now, when I looked at that from up top, I don't think Payne's throwing him to the outside. I'm thinking, fucking Necro. Telling Payne to throw him to the outside.
Right.
Because Necro has told me, powerbomb me fucking to the concrete from inside the ring. And I told him, no, I'm not fucking killing you on my watch. So that's what it looked like to me. It looked like, here's Necro taking another one of these stupid, sick fucking bumps. Until I seen Necro in the fucking corner, and he started pounding on him pretty good. So I went over and I want to give him a boot or something.
DDT.
And a DDT, yeah, just to kind of, get him off. And, and it wasn't nothing stiff. I wasn't trying to hurt him. I was just breaking up the heat, you know what I mean? Because
right.
there was definitely some heat going on there. But at first, you know what I mean? Like I said, it's just like, I think it's fucking, him taking another sick fucking bump. But, Payne is known for being a little fucking stiff with people too, but in the beginning, I didn't think that. But afterwards, I don't blame fucking Necro for putting the boots to him. If fucking somebody threw me the fuck over, like that, I'd have been putting the boots to him too. Or at least fucking slapping him in the mouth in the middle of the fucking ring, But, yeah, Payne deserved the boots if that was the case. But if you were watching, Mike,
right.
Was that? You think Necro would take that? You know what I mean? It just seems like something that he would say, throw me to the outside, brother. No, dude, I don't want to hurt you. Don't worry about it. Throw me to the outside. Not to stick up for Payne, Mr. fucking ego fucking one-way motherfucker.
the fallouts from that Cage of Death. Me and Michael left. I guess the next day, Heisbox is on the phone with you trying to buy the footage. How did that all go down? We'll start with that.
I don't know if it was the next day or if it was.
It had to be pretty damn.
Or was it before? Was it going on before?
I don't think.
I don't know. I don't know if it, maybe. Well, I mean, maybe that is how it came about.
Right.
Maybe it was. Maybe that's how the guy got a hold of me. Because I talked to him, like, I don't really know the guy, but a few
Right.
times over the years about stuff, because they were selling other stuff off and on of ours, I think, in the past. But yeah, I made a deal with him for footage to. He was supposed to get a copy of all our stuff. And what did he have? Had it some from a bootlegger, right? Somebody in New York, was it? Somebody, he had
Right.
like all our shit from some fucking bootlegger,
He already
right?
had it from a bootlegger, yeah.
Yeah, and then you got the stuff. Did you ever get that stuff back from the
No.
bootlegger? Oh, I thought you did. I remember
No.
you tried to, right?
Tried.
Or cease and assist. We did something with
Yeah.
that. Yeah. And then, but I did do a deal with him, and he was supposed to get footage from you, tape it or copy it, and then send it back. And I think, was there an issue with him not sending stuff back?
He never sent stuff back.
Yeah, so, and then we never sent him any more, so it just, the whole fucking deal just went to shit. But, I mean, he offered to come up here and film shows or send cameras up here and have other people use his cameras to film shows to, you know. I never went to that because I don't think you ever stopped filming shows.
Right.
You weren't booking,
Right.
or you weren't even coming around for a little while.
Right.
The guys were coming. Yeah, so it never got to that. I never wanted to do that, you know what I mean? But that was an offer. If you were gone, then his cameras would have been there and somebody would have been able to film, is, you know, what he was trying to do. He was trying to take your spot, I guess.
Right. At that time, you make an offer to me to sell it. What was your thought behind that?
The same thing was behind my thoughts when I finally did just sell it to DJ, was that if I didn't want to do that match, probably, and like you're saying, I was backing off,
Right.
whether it was because
Yeah.
of the hardcore or whether I was tired of it or whether I was fucking broke. I'll be honest, maybe all of the above.
Right.
But I never ever put CZW out like on the internet, like for sale. And there's fucking marks out there that, you know, sit on money that may come and buy it just to play boss, you know what I mean? But that's not what I wanted. So it was more than just money. It was wanting to keep CZW. I wanted to keep what used to be a family together. So when I came to you, and I also knew you seem to be a good businessman, you work your regular job, you do Smart Mark video, so business-wise, I know you would be able to keep it going. And also in the back of my head, I knew Pancos was going to be on board with you one way or another to do his end and keep everything going. And like I've always said, you're only as good as the people around you. So with you guys, I figured it would keep going, you know. And maybe it wouldn't be all my dreams or everything, but I knew that CZW would keep going, and that's why I came to you. I figured you were capable of doing it, for one. You were one of the few people in the company that I would think would be capable of, you know, doing it, and also keeping it together, you know what I mean, and keeping everybody. And obviously we didn't come to an agreement for whatever reason, and then I just, you know, kept going, and then again I got back to it, and the same feelings are coming back again. And then I asked a few people, very few people, and DJ happened to be the guy that, you know, had the rich grandmom with the fucking 850 credit score, I guess. I don't know. And he got grandmom, you know, and I'm not putting him out there. I'm just saying,
Right.
He got his grandmother, I believe, to co-sign for a loan for him. And he got a business loan, and he's doing his thing. But I also, same reasoning with him was, he is, as much as some people don't like DJ or don't like his ways or the way he fucking rolls his eyes when he's talking to you or whatever, I felt that he would try to keep it the way it was, try to keep it CZW, try to, you know, keep that same thing going. And obviously he's going to make some changes, you know what I mean? Because everybody will. We're all different. You would have had more internet fucking wrestlers in there, and DJ's going to have more of this kind, and I'm going to have more hardcore, whatever. But that was the same thing. Was okay. I still went in house again. I was trying to get somebody that was already there, knew what was going on, and hoped that it would just, you know, keep going. And so far, it's still going. And I'm hearing, I'll be honest, I hear more negative than positive, not from fans, from workers, behind the scenes people. A lot of people don't seem to be happy with DJ. I don't know if it's getting any better. I haven't, since my son died, I haven't really, I don't even look at the emails. I don't really talk to anybody about wrestling or anything like that. I past 3 months, I kind of just didn't even answer the phone. But I hope that it keeps going, and I hope DJ gets his shit together. One problem DJ has is trying to be Zandig. No offense, but you do. You have to be yourself. Find your own person, be your own person and your own niche. You may be leaning that way now because I hope you realize you aren't me. You're not ever going to be me. And that's not a smack in your face, and I'm not patting myself on the back. We're all different. So, DJ, fucking, if you didn't, find your fucking self and do your thing, and I hope you do the right thing.
We'll get into more of that later.
Okay.
January of 2006, you start off with, you guys do and this, I set up this show before I left. CZW runs in the afternoon, Danielson comes in, Ring of Honor runs at night, which that sets
That pissed me off because it should have been us at night and them in the day. But go ahead.
Right, I know, and that was one of the things that really led to you and I, like, the separation of, like, why did you even bend?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think one of my classic lines that was misinterpreted, but I'll bring it up anyway, was, you know, I felt that we had a better locker room, better talent, better storylines, but they were getting all the internet press. And that was a show, I think your water broke. You had a leak in the house. I think it was the October show. You didn't even show up. And it got transpired back as the story was, Burns said, Ring of Honor is much better than CZW, which led to you reaming my ass out on an hour phone call. Because you weren't there for what I said,
Right.
and it just was, the story was mistold.
I got you. Let me say a little bit on that.
Okay,
And
yeah.
I also.
Oh, no,
You also know as well as I know the way I feel about the way you talk to people and
Right.
the way you say things. I don't know if I've ever said this before on video.
Go ahead.
But okay. Mike, in my opinion, Mike's always been a boss. He's always been in charge somewhere. Good guy. He went to school, you know, had a job, and he was in charge. He lost that job and got another job, and he was in charge. He runs his own tape company. He's in charge. He books talent for a wrestling company, whether it's CZW, his own, or ABC, it doesn't matter. He's the boss. So sometimes bosses, there's a certain way you have to talk to people. And my opinion, Burns is a little heavy with his mouth sometimes. I think he speaks before he thinks sometimes. These are just my opinions, and these are a couple things that bothered me with Mike, the way he talked to people. So I had to have talks with him about, dude, you got to learn how to talk to people. There's a time to fucking lose it, and I've only lost it a few times over the years. There is a time to lose it. There's a time to kiss a little ass, and nobody wants to do that. There's a time to talk soft. And so what I'm getting at is, if I spend an hour screaming at you on the phone, I was probably,
Right.
whatever I was told you said, I probably believed you said it, because I know sometimes the way things come out of your mouth, and you might not even mean it the way it comes out, but
Right.
it just comes out, is what I'm saying. And I'm not down on him because, like, Mike does good. He's got a decent career, he's got his tape company and everything else. But that was one thing, you know, probably why I spent an hour freaking out. Even if it was wrong and it was misthought, it's because I know sometimes things comes out
Right.
wrong out of your mouth.
No, and I appreciate, I mean, I've said to you many times that you mentored me a lot.
Right, and
Yeah,
I was only being honest, you know,
Right.
'cause I've been a boss most of my life too.
Right.
But there is a time to freak. There is a time when you have to fucking be stern with people, or, you know, a time when you gotta snatch somebody up.
Right.
You know.
No, I feel definitely that you helped me grow as a person and as a boss, you know, I mean, all the way
Right.
around, like the time I spent with you over the years.
Gotcha.
So I appreciate that.
All right.
That's
I
why-
appreciate you saying that, and I appreciate you sticking with me through all the thick and thin too.
2006 starts off with
That's
the
a
ring.
shoot.
Yeah, as the CZW ROH feud. What did you envision?
Damn, my bitch got a nice ass, don't she?
We can't film that.
She's trying to go to fucking work. She's trying to look all sexy when she goes to fucking work. She don't look like that when she goes out with me.
Oh, shut up.
See what happens after a fucking year?
You lied.
My bitch, sorry.
Side note, You were kind of thrown into, like, since that was the angle I wanted to go with, the CZW Ring of Honor feud. Were you against it? Since it, like, what was your envision of how it would play out?
Probably the way it did. We would get fucked, and they would get more. They would get more than what we got out of it. I've always been bitter with Ring of Honor. Always been sour. Feinstein, the fucking queer, started it. And he started it because he couldn't do business with me, and I think we might have talked about that earlier on in other tapes, so I'm not going to go all into that. But he couldn't fucking do nothing with us, so he started his own thing. And Feinstein's also a good businessman and got some fucking money, you know. I think he's got investments in the stock market and everything else, so he ain't just a fucking videotape seller, not knocking you. So I think he always had a little bit of money with him.
Right.
And what he did was, you know, he fucking went around and stole all the top guys from everywhere. So I've always had a bitter or sour taste in my mouth, really, for the fucking dude. The only time, which I wish I never did, I kind of stood up with him is when we had them jerk-offs from fucking California coming out trying to steal the arena, which they got it for a couple months. And I went and fucking shook his hand in the middle of that fucking ring in Philly, Feinstein. And I mean, but it's sometimes the lesser of the evil, you know what I mean? So at that point, and I also didn't know you were a fucking pedophile. At that point, I had to get Rob Black out of fucking, you know what I mean? I needed him out of fucking Pennsylvania.
Right.
And Feinstein at that time was just on the way up with Ring of Honor. And again, I think that us going there helped them to draw fucking people, and it kind of backfired. It didn't backfire totally because we did get them. It only took 2 months, I think, and we had them out.
Right.
Whoever they are.
XPW.
We got them out of the fucking arena. So as far as that angle, I was always bitter and sour towards anything we did with Ring of Honor because, you know, I was just always bitter with them. Not bitter because they were better than us, because I don't think they are. Just bitter, it seemed like they always were trying to use us or on our coattails. Yet they'll call themselves Ring of Honor, and we don't do hardcore, and, you know, that's garbage wrestling and things. But yet any opportunity they had to do some angle with us, it seems like they would to benefit them. But it never, and I always hoped that, you know, their fans would jump over, you know, and watch over here, but it seemed like our fans would jump over to that side when our guys were at their shows.
And stay there.
If their guys were at our shows, they wouldn't come over. And yeah, some of our fans did go over and stay. Not all of them. And then some do, you know, they jump around and do everything. But I don't know. I don't know how anybody can go to one of them fucking RH shows and just watch it over and over and over. I mean, it's the same shit. It just seems like over and over. I mean, I don't understand it, but you know, they seem to do all right.
Yeah, I mean, from that 2005 talent pool, they ended up taking Steen, Generico, Hero, Ruckus, Jigsaw.
He was a good kid, Jigsaw.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty much Necro started going there full time.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much like we developed the talent, and
That's
then
been going on for years. Yeah.
right, and then I have more money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That was always
That's
like
exactly
you said.
what it was. That's exactly what it was. And it wasn't like we had the money. It wasn't like if we had more money, we could have paid more money.
Right.
It wasn't like that. We weren't making tons of fucking money. you
Right.
know? So that was the difference between us and, you know, you went from Feinstein with money to this other guy with what's he have, a Ticketron or ticket outlet or something.
He's a ticket broker.
Some
Yeah.
kind of, yeah. So he's making $120 on a $10 fucking ticket. And how many of them are he selling? So it don't matter if he makes money at the shows because he can pull from his ticket, you know, thing to, you know, to pay guys more money. Where I didn't have that.
Right.
Everything was just CZW. So that was their way of fucking us in the pocketbook.
One of the shows they do with you, they send you over as part of this angle. They send you just the students. You know what I mean? Like they were taking all your top guys and doing the angle. It was more of like an ROH angle than like a CZW ROH angle. You know, they were
Right.
bringing in all the guys. You know,
And then when their guys did come, even if they sent good guys, they fucking they laid down. Hi, buddy.
right. The one time they came in was for Best of the Best 6. When you had
They all laid down. They all laid down. And that one fucking jerk off, I think he might even be with Vince now. He went up to North Jersey, said he couldn't work here because he was hurt, and went up to North Jersey and had a fucking 20-minute match. Am I right on that? Shooting Star Press kid. Spiky hair.
oh Seidel.
Yeah, that kid. Wasn't he one of the ones?
I think he was supposed to be on it, and he was hurt.
And then but he said he was hurt and he could hardly do nothing. And then, like I said, then he went up there to North Jersey because Ring of Honor had a show like
That-
in
the
Edison
night,
or something.
right.
And he went and did like a 20, 30, whatever, some freaking ridiculous match. And yet he couldn't do nothing with us. Same shit with the other fucking one, the kid with the cross, and the next
Christopher
day
Daniels.
he's a fucking got a bowl of soup on his head. Yeah, that kid. He came and said, "Oh, yeah, I got to take it easy, blah blah blah." You know, and it's like, come on, motherfuckers, you come in here, you know what I mean? You know what I am when you come to season. You come here, you work hard. This is, you know, you work twice as hard as you work everywhere else. You don't want to take it easy, go somewhere else, because our own guys work, you know, hard. And then the outside guys. And most of them do, the young ones. But then you get the fucking, you know, wise-ass ones from Ring of Honor who think they're fucking better than everybody else, which you're not. Yeah, they just laid down. They really did. I hated it. It on paper, should have been great. But
It just didn't deliver.
yeah, no, I hated it. They were, you know, it was weak. It was weak.
Why did you decide to do that one in the afternoon, and they run at night? You know what I mean? Like, you're so against it.
The reason being is because we weren't in the same building for one.
The January show, you guys were in the arena, they were at the Armory. Right. So do you think it was because they were in North Jersey then?
With the distance, I guess.
Or you
And it was
you were
best,
so-
it was best
you
of
were-
the best, right?
right.
Best of the best draws anyway. So that
Right.
was like probably, I'm guessing that was my thing. And that was we built that, or didn't we kind of build that, or did they?
It was the angle going back and forth, so that was kind of like the first time you finally had like the real Ring of Honor talent.
Right, not the undercard guys.
Right. I mean, you had the month before, I think you had Aries and somebody else in a tag match, but
Yeah, Aries has a decent look, but he didn't really. I wasn't really impressed with him.
so then you make your ROH debut in a debate with Cornette.
Who,
You did a debate with him back and forth.
What was the debate? Hardcore versus wrestling, maybe,
Right,
or Ring
yeah.
of Honor style versus CW style.
Yeah.
I don't remember everything word for word. I thought that went pretty good, that thing there. And once again, I was going there, going with the flow, trying to make things better for us, and trying to get our people to go over to there, and then their people come back, you know, to ours. And I remember after, was it that night? Was that the Cage of Death night?
It might have been the same.
They used our cage, right?
Correct, right.
Because what's the guy's name? What's that guy's name?
Gabe?
No, the owner. What's
Kerry Silken?
Kerry?
Kerry.
Yeah, Kerry. Yeah. He came up to me after that and he thanked me so much. He's shaking my hand, wanting to give me a Cuban cigar, telling me thank you so much. He says this is the biggest crowd that we ever had. He says we've done everything. We brought people in from different countries. He says, and you know, here we are like right in each other's backyard, and you know, this is the biggest crowd ever. And I'm thinking, okay, I did my part here. You know, CZW did their part. We came in, we did our fucking thing, we gave them their crowd, and then you know, now the same thing's supposed to come back to us, and it never did. You know, it just never went our way. It helped them, didn't help us, my opinion.
So, what was your thought of having ROH use the cage? Was it just mainly a payday at that point?
It was just a payday. Yeah, that's all it was. And I think I probably talked to Scrawny and them and said, "Do you want to do it? You know what I mean? Do you want to do this?" And they did. And that's that. I mean, it was an angle as usual. We were trying to go with the angle and hope that it worked.
What were your thoughts on Gabe as a booker when you were doing this whole angle back and forth? Were you talking with Gabe, or was there a middleman like Maven or somebody?
I have talked on the phone with Gabe. His phone number, which is probably no good. And where is he anyway? Is he back with Ring of Honor or not with Ring of Honor? No. Right?
No.
Okay.
All right, getting back to
Ring of Honor.
We were talking about Gabe.
Cornette, talking about Gabe.
Gabe as a booker. You said
I
you had some phone
if,
calls.
I don't really remember. Maven did do a lot of go-between stuff for me because
Right.
that way I didn't have to do it, or whether I was doing construction work and he would get it and then give me the information. So he could have been talking to him. Usually there was always somebody talk to somebody before me, always. But I do remember spending some time on the phone with Gabe. I don't really remember all the conversations. But it was just a payday. They actually wanted me to do that cage. I do know that. And I told them whatever I wanted. I don't remember. I gave them a price.
$5,000. No, I don't think it was that high.
No, I don't. I think I might have told him $1,000.
Probably.
I might have told him
Yeah.
$1,000, and because he wanted me to be in it, I said, "All right, give me $1,000," and I just never heard nothing back again, so I wasn't in it. which it kind of made no sense because we did the thing. I think I had the fat dude, the fucking sumo or whatever he is.
Samoa Joe.
Yeah, he came and like I don't know what happened. Did I start getting on Cornette or something maybe? And then did he come out? Ring of Honor guys came out right when during that.
I've never watched the
Okay,
angle,
I think
so
that's
probably
what it was. I think it was when we were in there having a debate. He had that tin can dude you just said. I forgot. I don't know who he is.
Samoa Joe.
No,
Adam Pearce.
Oh,
Adam Pearce.
Adam Pearce.
Scrap iron, right?
Scrap iron.
Okay, I'm sorry, dude. I just don't remember. He was in there, like, kind of standing with, Cornette, I guess, is like a bodyguard or something. And I think some shit went down, and then that Samoan Joe, I think, might have speared me in the corner or something, and some punches or something was going on. And then I think the CZW guys came in, and we fucked up all their shit, and, and all that went down. So it kind of looked like I probably, should have been in the cage. I think they paid me $400 to do that.
The
To
debate.
go stand there and do a debate. So I don't think $1,000 to do a fucking cage, and for what I would have given them in the cage wasn't a whole lot of fucking money,
Right.
And also they had the biggest fucking house that they've ever had, coming from the owner, not Gabe and not whoever that manager dude is, that other one that works for him. I forget his
Sid.
name. Sid, yeah. I mean, it's coming from the owner. So
What are your thoughts on him as a booker?
Gabe,
Yeah.
oh, I don't like Ring of Honor shows, so
Right.
I'm going to say I don't like it. He was brought to me by Feinstein way back before we knew Feinstein was a pedophile in Smyrna, Delaware. I think maybe in the firehouse. Came in there looking like a Dudley boy at that time.
Right.
Looking, and I didn't realize what they were doing, but I think Feinstein was trying to push him on me as a booker. I think I didn't realize it at the time, but I never went with it. So as far as him booking, if I don't like Ring of Honor shows, then I would have to say no. I don't.
Right.
I don't like his booking. I don't know. There really isn't angles. They do angles like on the internet, but then it isn't live or something. Is what I remember. I don't know what they're doing nowadays, but the way they did it before, no.
Right.
Not at all.
Do you think
To do a cage of death and use CZW guys, that's a fucking given. It's a very easy angle. That's
Right.
You're just taking a CZW angle and using two different companies. So I mean that was probably the biggest and best angle you ever fucking did, you motherfuckers. Yeah. Well, I think Burns had something to do with that.
Yeah, I think it was pretty much how I started that. The one thing I left out of 2005, and I didn't mean to skip over it. We were just
It's all right. I get talking about. I know I get out of range a little bit too.
Cash's passing. He worked for you. You know what I mean? You spent a lot more time with him than most of the wrestlers. How did that impact your life?
It was tough. It still is kind of tough. What do they say? Time heals, I guess. You know what I mean? You stop crying after a while, I think. But he was a good kid. He was a friend of my son, which he didn't come to me through my son. He came to CZW, and then I learned that that they were friends, which is kind of strange. He was renting a condo off of me at one point. I mean, he was like basically, and there was a lot of with him. I think there was a lot of father-son moments, like talks and father-son friend type of things. There was a lot of heart-to-hearts. I think he came to me for my opinion on things, or information or whatever that kids normally would go talk with their parents about, and that kind of made us close, It was horrible. He was, to me, and I know he wasn't your favorite wrestler because he was one of those dudes that had more personality.
He had a ton of personality.
He had talent.
Right.
And I agree. But
Right.
Talent, and another guy, I don't know if you like him or not, the Ultimate Warrior, which, my
Right.
opinion, him and Shawn Michaels, if you could mix the two, they're
Right.
a perfect wrestler because of his fucking charisma and all that.
Oh,
in the ring.
he had a ton of charisma.
But he lacked in the talent. But
Right.
That's what gets me. You know what I mean?
It's the charisma.
But even though me at the same time, I don't want to see a fucking Pondo bump. You know what I mean? You got to know how to bump. I want to at least know how to bump. But with Cash, he just personified the young, hungry CZW guy. Like, he came along a little bit after the Justices and the Gage and the Rick Blades, but he had that same hunger. So he was like another generation of those first guys, and it made me feel good, and it probably drew me closer to him. And then he was close with my son, so that drew me closer to him probably. Yeah, it was rough. I mean, it really was. I don't know. Then it was his time to go. I don't fucking know why. I don't understand it. I don't get it. The kid had fun everywhere. That was another thing. No matter what he did, he'd go in there and fall down and trip over his feet and do something stupid and get up and be like, F you, and go on with it. You know what I mean? Where a lot of guys would screw up and that's it. The whole match is done because they just lose it. And he would just keep on going, man. But I don't know. I love the kid. He was he was a good kid. I mean, he died drinking, driving on a fucking motorcycle. He was on the back. It was his cousin driving. I mean, that's a fucking hell of a way to go. Yeah, they were drinking and all, but from what I understand, I don't know if anybody knows this, they were being chased for no reason. They were almost being like, kind of like harassed and assaulted by cops.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it happened yet, but I'm pretty sure the parents sued and won. And I think the police department is almost like accused of murdering them kids and that woman. Yeah, I don't quote me, I'm not going to swear to
right.
this, but I'm pretty sure I know that was going on. And I think I think they did. It came out that it wasn't, Cash's fault. They were basically almost murdered by fucking cops, overstepping their bounds. If you chase a motorcycle, you get to a certain speed, you're supposed to slow down, you stop.
Back off.
And they just kept right on going. So I know I'm going, once again, I'm babbling on, but yeah, I mean, how it affected me, it was rough. It was, I'll be honest, I'm not going to lie, it wasn't like losing my son, who I just lost recently. I mean, it was kind of like when I lost my brother at 24 years old in a fatal car accident, which was, devastating. I lost it. I was screwed up for months. I would see people I would think was him. I couldn't watch, a sad part in a movie, you know what I mean? I would start bawling. My emotions were just a mess. And I had those moments with Cash. I'd be riding down the street in my truck, and all of a sudden I would just start thinking, you know what I mean? I would start crying. So it was rough. It was a blow.
Yeah, because I mean, he worked for you for how long? Probably a good year or so.
Yeah, and plus, actually, when we found out he died, he was supposed to be on the job with me in Wildwood. We were doing plumbing down there on. Plumbing, you fucking assholes that think I'm a fucking electrician, fucking explosive specialist. Whatever magazine that was, you fucking assholes. I read that in a fucking magazine. My profession, I'm actually an electrician, and I'm a fucking explosive fucking expert. If I was a fucking explosive expert, you think that Cage of Death would have been a fucking flop a couple fucking years ago? Fucking idiots. I actually read that in a magazine. I'm like, are these fucking people kidding me? Explosive fucking expert. But anyway, we were down there, and we got the call. And here we are, and my son was with me too. He was supposed to be on that job with us that day, and it was a no-show. And we got a call. Fucking that happened. And we all just lost it because everybody there was, knew him and was close with him, and we got our ass we got our ass home. I still actually have his circular saw in my garage because he left it, I guess, the day before,
right?
A couple days before.
What's your fondest memory
of
Chris?
You know what, dude? His fucking just. I think it's just his excitement. I don't know that there is one thing. I mean, I could say the bump with him and Joker off the ladder, which I'll never forget. Right. The picture that's on the back of his headstone, sitting on top of that ladder. You know what I mean? Like just fucking happy. You know what I mean? Those kind of moments, you know what I mean, will always be in my head. But it's his excitement. I think it's the overall. It's just him, the love of it, and just being so excited out there and doing it. I don't think I have one fond memory. I think that's the memory of him just being so happy and excited when he was doing it. Because that's what everybody should feel like. I wish I could feel it. I wish I could be so comfortable like he was in the ring. Because I'm not comfortable in the ring like that. I go in and I do my thing, but I'm not comfortable. I'm like one of them guys, there's always been too much shit going on in my head. Right. It's not just my match. I can't never just go and just do my match because I'm always thinking about everything else. And he just went out fucking full, you know what I mean? And that just had a ball. And that just, I think that's it. I think it's just, and he made you smile. You know what I mean? No matter what. If he came in, he would fucking do something stupid or say something. He'd come into wrestling school and fucking next, you know, he's jumping up on a trampoline, fucking over to another trampoline, up into the fucking rafters, flipping upside down, landing on the ropes, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing, you lunatic? But I mean, it's crazy. It's like, you know, it's like the
Right.
class clown. You know what I mean? Sometimes you hate him and sometimes you love him. You know what I mean? But I think that's the fondest memory of Cash is just his personality. He was great. He was a great kid.
His family weren't big fans of him wrestling,
Supposedly,
from what they say.
They said they've never went to see any of his matches. But there was a thing when we were in Seoul where supposedly the dad was in the audience. Now, I don't know if is that when they maybe did a run-in because Rebel did something with
Right.
him. And the dad seen him running around the ring like a lunatic, and somebody says, "Damn, what's that fucking kid on ADD?" And the dad's, and this is what I heard, the dad said, "Damn, what's he tell people he's on that? What's he tell people or something like that?"
Right.
At that. So I think they must have been to at least a show, but it might have been like when he first started. So but they didn't follow him, and that part sucks. I think it sucks for them that he was doing something that he loved so much, you know, that they kind of missed out on it. And you know, now I know they come, you know, every year or whatever for the you know, the Cash Memorial, but I'm sure they wish they would have came to more shows. You know, when I first started, my dad never seen me wrestle. My mom might have seen me wrestle once. My first day in the ring, I think I had 180 fans came to see me, and then the next time it was maybe 100. My numbers may vary a little bit, and then the next time it was. And then the next time it was the next, you know, ain't none of my friends. Most of my friends really have never even came and ever seen me in a show. I'll see them and they say, "Oh, you still doing that wrestling thing? Oh, you still traveling or whatever?" They never come, you know. But in the beginning, everybody comes out to see you in the beginning.
Right.
Even with Cash, you think the parents, like they might have came to one. If they came to Seoul, you remember, there might have been, for all I know, there might have been 50, 100 people there because when we left from Mantua to Seoul, we went about 2 miles and we lost friggin' 100 people. It's like,
yeah.
What happened? You know, it's 2 miles away. So that was almost like going to a Monster Factory show, like a little low budget, you know what I mean? And the parents being like, "Oh, what's this?" You know? And then when they came to the arena obviously after he passed away, they were like, "Wow, this is, you know, my son was doing this."
And they celebrated him.
Yeah.
You know. Sorry, I skipped over that. Going back to 2006, you did an angle where Blackout cut off your hair. Why'd you cut off the hair?
Dude, you can only hold on to it for so long. You know, that's all I can say about that. You can only hold on for so long. I mean, you know, it was thin. In my family, one side, they go bald in the front. The other side, they go bald in the back. I didn't have a shot. You know,
Right.
It was going eventually. What I thought was funny about that was we did the angle with mine, and we carried it on a couple months. Then I kept the little tail dangling just so they can come and get me that one more time.
Right.
Who was that? Did Ty do that?
I don't remember.
Maybe. Somebody came up behind me and got the little bit. But some people were like, "When you gonna cut that thing off?" And other people, "Oh, I liked it. Why didn't you leave it on?" You know. But after that, I believe it was after that, Vince did a fucking haircut angle with fucking Donald Trump. And I'm like, I remember thinking, this motherfucker, man. Here we are doing it in $100 way, and this motherfucker's doing it in $1 billion way. You know what I mean? It's amazing when you see little things that Vince does that he picks up when he's got all these little kids on the internet watching tapes and seeing what everybody else is doing. And I mean, Christ, what's the next thing? I mean, that came straight from fucking, you know, I guess that was Pancos' idea.
Right.
I guess came right from fucking that thing. I'm flicking the channels one night because I don't even watch it, and it's even less more. It used to be where I would stop if I see it. It's almost like I don't even stop anymore. I just keep going. But I saw that next thing, and I don't know if I texted him or called Pancos, left a message. Said something about, "Oh, I see your thing's on tonight" or something, you know. It was Vince's thing. It's amazing but I mean, that's when you're that big and that powerful, you can take whatever you want, you know.
And I mean, that's kind of like the way the whole ROH angle went. It's like you're paying guys X amount, and they're giving them 2.5 times that.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I'm going to go there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm going to take those dates over top.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's
It was easier work there too, I would imagine. You know, they don't have to work as hard. I mean, I know they go out there and sweat, you know, they take their bumps, but they're not working as hard as these kids do in CZW, in my opinion. Of what I've seen anyway, and I haven't seen a whole lot of it, so I can't knock everybody. I mean, and that Daniels kid is like a good worker, right?
Right, great worker.
The little, he's with Vince now, right?
Which one?
Danielson.
No. You mean Evan Bourne, Seidel.
No, not him. He's with Vince too. I seen
Right,
him. But I
he's a-
thought the blonde haired one is with
Brian
Vince now.
Danielson.
Brian Danielson. Yeah.
He's decent, but he's one of those guys that, you know, with the arm locks and the head locks. I mean, to me, it's too much of that. But he's not a bad worker, though. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
great worker.
I don't know what he's doing with Vince, but I know that again,
He's on
looking at
there.
the channels. I saw the motherfucker like on there one day, and I'm thinking, damn, he's a little tiny thing. He ain't too big.
Yeah, he's not a lot of size. 2006 had some like key impact players that have been there now for a couple of years. That's when Drake debuted in Brain Damage. He was at Tournament of Death 4, but then he was start being brought in full time in 2006. So that was kind of like your new hardcore blood. What are your thoughts on those guys?
Brain Damage, one dimensional. He's got to be doing hardcore, and he has to be punching or being punched. Drake, pretty much all around. He can talk. He can get out there and, you know, run spots. You know what I mean? Spot after spot. Not as good as, you know, some of these other guys, but he can do enough. You know, he doesn't just have to do the hardcore. He's not one dimensional, I guess I should say. So, you know, looking at the both of them, I would have to put, you know, Drake up here. It's a shame Drake don't have Brain Damage's size, you know what I mean? But I'd
Right.
have to put Drake up here. But if you're talking about going to the Tournament of Death, you definitely want to, you know, either one of them could go either way, you know what I mean? As long as Brain Damage is punching or taking punches.
Also, that you're Lufisto. Your thoughts on
Awesome.
her?
Best one out of Canada. Can't fucking have that. That girl just has, no matter who you put her in there with, she has a good fucking match. It just doesn't matter. She was in there with us in the Cage of Death and she had a good fucking match. I mean, it just seemed like everybody I see her wrestle, she just adapts to everybody. I think she's awesome.
What were your thoughts of throwing her in the Cage of Death? Why did you add her? To do something different?
I think I was putting her there to give her that Cage of Death CZW rub because I liked her because I felt that she was yeah, that's for the choo-choo train, but you gotta take it downstairs. I probably did that because I felt she deserved to be there because that's the biggest show, that's the
Right.
biggest match, that's the, you know, the whole big thing, and I felt she should have been in there. I would imagine because I always thought that I can't remember a bad match. Everybody has some bad ones or some bad things in a match. My opinion of her is just she always pulled off a good match some way or another. It was always good, you know. And I don't never heard her bitch about anything. You know
No.
what I mean?
Yeah. And she was willing to do it all.
Yeah, I picked her little ass up, and I remember I powerbombed her in the cage. I says, "Tuck your chin, girl," and gave her a throw, and she, you know, there was no questions, no fight, and you know, and she's great. I think she's awesome. Cute little thing too. Fluctuates in the size a little bit. No offense, we all do, but she's definitely cute. And you know, she comes out there, you know, she puts in, you know what I mean, different costumes or different color hair. It's not just, you know, the same thing over and over. You know,
It's
I mean,
not the same thing every month.
Yeah, she puts something into it, you know. So she definitely loves it. She's into it.
2007,
Don't get no idea, Sabian. She don't want nothing to fucking do with you.
2007, you pretty much, by that time, you stopped wrestling. Tournament of Death comes, Mitch Ryder can't make it, so you decided to go one-on-one with Necro. Thoughts on
Yeah.
that match?
I think it was good. That fucking boot hurts like a motherfucker. He was slapping me with that boot. I don't think I've been slapped with the boot. It stings. It don't like hurt like, but it's like, ow, motherfucker.
Like
it
getting hit
stings.
with
Yeah.
like a belt.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I remember that. I think it was pretty good. I think there's some good stuff in there. We did a little punching, right?
Right.
I think that's where I got. Is there a scar right here?
No, there should be one up here.
No. Is it here or is it on this side?
You have a little one on the other side. Yeah.
Here?
Yeah.
It's like a boxer scar. Can you see it?
Yeah. Right.
That's a punch. That was necro. That was a knuckle. Yeah, I didn't know it, but afterwards when I checked, yeah, that was a knuckle. He caught me right there. That's a necro scar right there.
Yeah. Because you asked me, you're like, how's my color? And it was so deep. Like you could have I could have stuck my finger, I think, in
Right.
your and like stretched your skull, and then you cut it the other way. So you did like a V cut,
Right.
which was like ridiculous.
Right. So it was good color in that match?
Oh,
Yeah.
What was we doing? We had the bed of barbed wire, like, I slammed him on that, and then I, like, went to pin him on it, right? Or was he on me?
No, you didn't pin him on it. You just threw him over the top onto it, and
No, I laid on him. I laid on him.
You might have tried
I laid on him for a
pinfall,
count. Yeah, I tried
yeah.
a pinfall. Oh, he fucked me up with the can. What did he do? Put the can over my head and did something. Trash can, and then jumped off the apron, and, like, I don't know if he dropped a leg or an elbow or something, but I remember him fucking landing on me. I was like, oh, fuck. He got me pretty good there. No, I think it was good.
Do you think you would have drew better if that was an advertised match since it was never done?
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe so.
'Cause
I mean, yeah. Well, I would. Yeah, I would say yeah. I would agree. But it's one of those things, you know. I guess I was done. I wasn't going to do nothing, and then I stepped up because
'Cause
we had
you
a
had-
problem, and I had
right.
to do what I had to do, And luckily it turned out good because not everything turns out, good. But on the fly, you know me. Sometimes on the fly, it's the better. Yeah, I remember it. I enjoyed that match. I don't know if it's one of my favorite matches or whatever, but I did enjoy it. There was good stuff. I remember crowd reaction seemed to be good during the match. I definitely liked that match.
Yeah, it was probably what I did, 20 minutes or so.
it was a good match.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it.
That was one of the matches I always wanted to do, and you're like, no, I'm not doing that match. And I showed up, and you're like, I'm doing that match. I'm like, okay.
The only thing, was it a weak finish? What was the finish?
The glass on fire, the pane of glass on fire.
Oh, it was in the corner? It wasn't outside on the ground when he
it was,
punched me? When did he punch me and cover me? Was that a mope, like a tag match or something?
Yeah, it wasn't the punch. Because
That would have been, wasn't that the Tournament of Death finals?
Is that what it was?
Right.
And it was him and Nikki, maybe? Was it three of
Because
us?
yeah,
And that's how he took me out. I didn't like that. I don't know why it didn't go off as well as I would. If maybe it would have happened in the middle of the ring, and we had some of that because I remember I laid down to a punch from the outside. But yeah, that was in a corner. Was it on fire or anything or no?
yeah, it was a pane of glass on fire.
Fire. Okay,
And Shawnee's like trying to put you out.
gotcha.
We
Yeah,
took-
that was good. It was a good surprise. People didn't expect it, so they got something, and it was good to boot. So that was nice. It's nice when you hear people, "Oh, you motherfucker! Anybody didn't come?" You know what I mean? You missed that one.
Oh yeah,
But then I'll buy the tape, right, Mike?
we both make out then. That year, we talked about it a little bit earlier on. Hero and Kingston do the loser leaves with the plan of Hero leaving, and you talked about Kingston quitting at the end of the night. What was the whole point of Hero leaving? He just couldn't make the dates, or he was played out? Because the one thing that surprised me was that when you put the belt on Hero, like, you're never that big of a fan of Hero. It really surprised me that,
In the drawer.
that you ended up putting the belt on him.
Well, once again,
More listening to the fans.
Yeah, that's
Right.
always. I mean, I always listen. You know what? One thing. I'm gonna get off the subject for a second. When we went to the arena, I started watching every fucking thing. And when we started out, like when we were in Mantua when we first started, or when we were in Seoul, I just used to listen to reaction. I didn't really watch. And I'll tell you, I think I did better just listening than watching. You know what I mean? Just listening to the crowd reaction and things like that. I like better. But and again, now getting back to him. I mean, I'm not blind, so I see crowd reaction. I see, I hear him cheering, cheering or booing, whoever it is.
Right.
We're talking about Hero at this point. So, he probably was the person to put the belt on at the time. and I don't know who I had him go up against after. I don't remember. There also could have been something in my head. Okay, him and so will be a good
Play out.
Yeah, later. I don't remember at the top of my head. Like I said, it doesn't matter if you like somebody or not. I don't have to like you. You know what I mean? I mean, there's not too many people that have been through CCW that I hate or hated. You know what I mean? But I didn't like or
Right.
love everybody. Everybody wasn't like real.
You're not having over for dinner, yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't like that. It almost was way back in the beginning. It was like it was real tight, but then it loosened up and loosened up.
Billy Graham comes in that company around 2007.
Snake dude?
Yeah. How did he come about?
I have no idea.
Through Toby, probably?
Yeah, I think
Originally,
so.
because
Yeah.
I think he was filming some stuff for Toby and then just started
Yeah,
showing up.
Probably Toby. Yeah, because he hung around with them guys like Toby and the deranged dude, right?
And Necro.
Necro. I guess he's a big fan. I guess I don't know other than that. I mean, he used to come to the shows and for nothing, and I guess he would probably help them guys out more than anything.
Any kind of relationship with him?
Not really. I mean, he tried. He would call me a lot and come up with ideas, and I think he always wanted more or wanted to do more, but it never really panned out into anything. You know what I mean? Sometimes I think he gets out there and he'll overshine. Excuse me, if you want to call it shine, but you know what I mean? Like,
Just
overpower the guy he's with, you know what I mean? Where he's trying to draw too much attention to himself. I don't think he was ever trained the job that he was supposed to be doing. I don't think he was ever trained for that, you know what I mean? There's certain things, the second, what you call it, your manager, your second, or whatever, he has a job out there, you know what I mean? He distracts the ref to do one thing, or he gets, the ref to look at this, why this is going on, or, different things, and he just seemed like he always wanted everybody, and it's to get the fans to watch, the guys in the ring, not really you know what I mean? So it just seemed like he was trying to get the attention sometimes more than what, the guys in the ring were. So but I think that was probably a lack of training. I think he was doing it for the love of the game and never really got trained for it. Nice guy to me. Never did I, as
Right.
far as I know, never did anything wrong to me.
Right.
He was always very respectful, But, he was never a big part of CZW. He has done some videos and things, which was, great. He helped out. Some of the stuff was a little over the top and too long. Yeah, long. But, it was on his own time. I mean, you can't knock a guy for wanting to be part of something. And that's basically, what he was.
Best of the Best saw the return of Joker. I think the finals, was it Drake and Joker in the finals, maybe? Or somewhere in there, I think they wrestled. What were your thoughts on having him come back from his time away?
Well, it's always good to have Joker back. I mean, he loves the game too, and Joker put a lot of time in, a lot of time, a lot of training, a lot of the training that you motherfuckers, a lot of you guys out there don't do. I've watched him, Sabian too, both of them. I've watched them. They came to me as, I don't know how young. I'm just going to call them young boys. They're a lot younger than me. They came to me as young boys, already trained, and they weren't. I mean, Sabian, no offense, brother, I've told you this before, didn't even know how to really take a hip toss. You know what I mean? And they came and they wanted to wrestle, and I says, you got to train, you got to work, I got to see you work. And they came, and they worked, and they trained constantly. I mean, they really did. So, I mean, they're not just two dudes that walked in off the street and we let them start wrestling. They really worked to get where they got. So, I was glad to see. I don't know why. I think I said this. I gave, if I don't know if you remember, I gave him a pretty good send-off when he went away to fight for
Right.
the country. His dream was to have a match with me.
The death match that we
Yeah,
did, the
we-
empty building, basically.
Yeah, and we did that, and I mean, it was cool. It was. Oh damn! He stopped me, didn't he? It was cool. And when he went away, I didn't understand it. I think I told him this. I didn't understand why he wanted to go fight for our country. I don't know what the fuck we're fighting for. I think it's all a bunch of lies. It's about money or oil or friggin' cocaine. I don't know, because it's never what you think it is. You know what I mean? So personally, I wouldn't be able to go fight for this country. You know what I mean? But he did it, and I shook his hand, and and thanks for fighting for our country. You know what I mean? Even though I don't get it, but when he came back, and then wanted to get back in the ring because he said goodbye and he was done. I mean, he probably had in his mind didn't know if he was going to fucking come back at all, which is possible. And when he came back and wanted to wrestle, I mean, it was good. You know, it made me feel good. And I think I've watched him kiss the ring and say goodbye and leave again. You know what I
Right.
mean? You can only do that so many times, but still, Joker's, as far as I'm concerned, Joker's always welcome back. You know what I mean? I know he got burned up a little bit at one point. You remember that with me and him
Right.
jumping off of that? What kind of match was that? That wasn't a cage of death match or nothing, right? It was just like a gimmick match. We had the platforms hanging in the
Yeah.
corner. And we went through that flaming table, and he got burned up. He got burned up pretty good. His back. I haven't seen it. I hope the scars all went away, but I'm sure that probably wanted to steer him away from friggin' wrestling, or at least doing hardcore for a while. I mean, there's no intentions. I mean, but it got him pretty good. I felt bad for that. Him and Drake. I remember Drake. I believe I remember Drake coming up to me after the match, thanking me for letting him wrestle Joker. He loved it. I think Drake loved it. It flowed right. It went really good. I mean, Drake really enjoyed wrestling him. So that was good because I'm going to assume Drake is his senior. If not senior, has a lot more matches under his belt
Right.
than what
Yeah,
Joker does.
definitely.
I'm not going to. I don't want to. I'm not sure who's the
Who's
older
been
in
in
it the longer.
right.
But Drake goes all over the place doing it, so I'm sure he has more matches. So coming from the senior saying how much he enjoyed wrestling, that also made me feel good. And part of the reason why that was is because of all the training that Joker did. And I'm not trying to say I trained him to get where he got. I'm just saying he was a hard worker and motherfucker, and he trained to get where he got, and he deserved to be there.
Right. 2007, Pain leaves.
Don't be messing with Snowflake. You know what I mean?
Pain leaves again.
That's not drugs. That's a bitch. People don't get it twisted.
What were your thoughts on Pain leaving again in 2007?
What was 2000? When did he leave? This wasn't the XP
No.
that thing.
No.
This was the end when he was. Is this when
This
he
is
got
the final.
Sha-na-na-na,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
Goodbye. He wasn't supposed to. He wasn't leaving. The fans pretty much embarrassed him so much that he couldn't come back. He couldn't come back and face him because of the way they sent him off. He didn't. His plan wasn't to leave. But, with his ego, and all, he couldn't deal with it,
Did you ever run into him, or no?
I seen him in a diner probably a month ago, and I was with my buddy Ket. I only caught the back of him because I was facing this way, and he came walking this way. But yeah, it's like this. He leans. He walked by, and Ket said, "What's up, punk?" And Ket said, "My buddy." from
Right,
shows."
yeah.
And he just kept walking straight ahead. He didn't even look back. I heard he's got another kid on the way or something. Has one and another one coming, I guess. But no, I don't talk to him. I guess did I shoot on him a little bit, or I did something. I said something in the ring about him. He don't give a fuck about this company, so I don't give a fuck about him.
Right.
I don't remember exactly. And I remember Wax didn't say this to me, but I'm sure he was the one that called him up and said, "Yo, John's shooting on you or something." So Payne showed up and comes up with a thing. He's like, "Yo, man, why are you saying that? And who said that?" I said, "Look, you said it." He was out of the bar running his
Right.
mouth. Fuck CZW. They never did nothing for me. That kind of attitude.
Right.
Well, then fuck you. You know what I mean? And that's still the way I feel. Fuck you. Enjoy your life and, watch yourself out there.
Some debuts in 2007. Scotty Vortex. Thoughts on him?
He's a good dude. Respectable. He'll do whatever. He should put a little size on. But that's most of the CZW guys. But yeah, I like Scotty. I can give you a most memorable moment of that one. Not it was the most memorable, but it just hit bring me to that match that they had that I thought was going to suck. It was a shin pad. Was it thumbtack?
Thumbtack
whatever
kick
that.
pads.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, that was good. I liked that a lot. So, thumbs up for that. That's kind of a memorable moment I do remember. And you know me, I don't remember too many of them. I don't know why, dude. I just
Right.
can't. They just run together, and I think this one and that one, but I thought that was going to be a downer, but I really liked it. It was good.
Danny DeMonto came in for a little bit.
Independent wrestler.
Just
That's all I can say. And I'll be honest. I think there was some stuff
Right.
said. I don't even know if is it even worth touching on. Independent wrestler. That's my opinion of Danny Romano.
And then-
and independent is less than CZW. No offense to you.
And then another one of Drake's and Scotty's friends at that time, Die Hard Dustin Lee.
Bitch. Pretty much a bitch. He started some shit. Was it him? Is he the one that got Vortex to leave? Did they leave
Right.
and try to start their own little thing?
Yeah.
What was their reasoning?
I
you
think
know?
jealousy of Drake.
Jealous of Drake? Well, Drake
Lee,
is,
Dustin's.
Drake is the lead
Right.
lead guy there. You know what I mean? He's the standout. I mean, so there's you can't be jealous. You got to work with, or work against, or however it has to go. I didn't remember. I don't think personally I ever did anything to him.
Right.
So, but the way he was running his mouth, I think there was some shit said probably about me. I don't remember, but I don't know. Just basically, just man up, motherfucker. You know what I mean? You are who you are. Drake's who he is, and I'm who I am.
Right.
So he's gone, and Vortex came back. And
Right.
we got the better of the two back.
Right. Definitely. Wasn't there a show, I think, where he was sick, he couldn't wrestle right beforehand, or like you said, basically a bitch. He would always there was always something like, like bellyache almost about everything.
Ain't he the one that got cut in the ring? Well, it was
He
just
got
like
that-
roll. He was just rolling, and it looked like they took like an ice cream
scooped
scooper.
it. Right.
And then he ran. Did he run and not do the match after that? He just ran in the back, or did he?
It went right home.
Yeah,
it-
he
it
didn't.
was-
He didn't get taped up. It wasn't. He just ended it right there.
Right.
Did he get stitches and everything?
Yeah.
Should he have went home, or could he have? What do you think?
He should have went home.
Should have went home.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't want to knock him if that was
Right.
the case. I know that looked nasty, but sometimes it looks more nasty than what it is. Personally, I probably would have said put some fucking tape on it, but that would be me. I mean, if he needed to go home,
Yeah.
they need to go home. I'm not going to knock that.
Right. But I mean, after that, it was always
Another one wanting to cut back on the hardcore. Yeah. You
Yeah.
can't come in and fucking light the world on fire with hardcore and then just stop. I mean, you gotta. It don't have to be constant, but you can't just stop. You got to give him something.
He never wanted no head color. That was his
Right,
thing.
yeah.
He didn't want no head
He was too
color.
pretty, maybe.
Maybe.
maybe he would get back color, but he wouldn't.
There's that bitch there. You got. Excuse me. Two times.
The big angle of 2008 was the Hollywood Dylan Summers angle
Which came from the movie thing.
from the movie thing. So
That went flat. He stopped. He didn't show up and just fucked us completely. I believe. If
right, he didn't. Whose angle was it? Whose idea was it turning him heel?
I got a feeling he wanted to be heel. And I felt it was the impossible move to
Right.
make him heel. But if we could, it would be fucking awesome. The thing was and I think it turned into a challenge to get these motherfuckers to boo Necro, if I remember right.
Looking back on it, you think it was a good idea? Because it was
I'll tell you what I look back on, and it wasn't. What is not a good idea, and not a good idea for anybody in the fucking wrestling business. Don't put fucking Necro in any kind of fucking long angle because you never know when he's going to show the fuck up. And that's shoot, because that's the fucking problem with him. He's great. He goes out there and he does his shit, and people pop. It don't matter what he does, they fucking pop for him. But when you put him in a fucking angle, then he don't show up. He's fucking the fans. He's fucking me. He's fucking you. He's fucking the guy he was supposed to work. You know what I mean? He's done that numerous times. He's cost us plane money. I missed my flight, man. I'm sorry. He told me straight up in the locker room one night, don't worry about what you see on the internet. If it looks like I'm booked somewhere else, don't matter. He says, I'll be here, man. Don't believe that. It's just lies. I'll be here. And that might be the last time that he fucking no-showed. He didn't show the fuck up again, So as far as that whole angle went, it was a little goofy, you're taking Necro out of his thing. But coming off of the movie, I thought it was kind of neat, you know what I mean? It's like Vince calling a fucking pay-per-view Armageddon. You know what I
Right.
mean? So we kind of went with the flow, and sometimes that's what you do. Now, I wish I never did it, but it's too late for that. It's done, and But again, if he would have showed up, I think we could have pulled it off if he would have fucking.
If you had the payoff.
If we had a payoff, and if he would have showed up, because there was times through that we had to keep that going without him there. You know what I mean?
What were your thoughts on having the movie filmed at the arena? Like the few scenes for the wrestler during the show.
I thought it was cool, but what I didn't like was I think the movie sucked. I think the movie, even though it won, or Mickey Rourke won something,
Right.
relaunched him. I mean, it was very easy playing himself. You know what I mean? Because he's basically a fucking partier, and that's all he was. And the way that movie portrayed fucking him, it was making it look like that's all everybody in independent wrestling is like that. Here's a guy broke, like getting kicked out of his trailer, and then going in a fucking locker room and buying $900 worth of steroids, and then he's in the bathroom with some bitch doing coke, fucking in the bathroom. All right, where's the guy fucking that's working fucking 8-10 hours a day on a construction site, coming home, taking a shower, eating, and going to the gym, hitting the weights, and then jumping in the ring and taking bumps? Where's that aspect of it?
Right.
You know what I mean? All we got, it was very one-sided, and I think that part of the movie, it was so one-sided, it just pissed me off to even watch it. It made me not even want to be part of it, you know. But at the same time, it was cool, you know. There was a little bit of money made there. We charged them for the building, we charged them for the ring, you know. Some of the guys got their faces on there. Nobody made a ton of money on
Right.
it, but that part was cool. But the finished product of it just fucking pissed me off. I picked up a couple other little things through the stunt coordinator, which I made decent money on some of them, and other things I didn't. So that was nice. You know what I mean? Right place to right time. But I don't know. Like I said, I just wish the movie, even though it got ratings, it did good, you know, but it was just one-sided. I just wish, I forget, do you remember the guy's name, the producer?
Aronofsky.
Aronoff, yeah. It'd be nice to see him come back with a fucking twist, but it's not going to happen, you know
Right.
what I mean, of the other side, because it was really just very one-sided, and that pisses me off. There is a lot of it, don't get me wrong. The way he lives his life, there is a lot of that going on. There's more and more of it. And even in fucking CZW, you motherfuckers need to straighten up. Trent's in a fucking box. JC's in a fucking box. You know, who's next? Wise the fuck up, motherfuckers. All you fucking guys out there, wise up. It ain't a fucking movie. You'll die. You will fucking die. So that's that just fucking, I hate that. That was so fucking one-sided. You know what I mean? It was so one-sided. And like I'm telling these motherfuckers right now, it's the truth. There is the few that are living that way, and they're just going to wind up dead. Even Vince's guys. These guys even money, you know what I mean? Get big fucking money. Big money, I think, means a bigger bag of fucking dope to some of them. You know what I mean? I don't get it. I mean, they're living their dream, you know what I mean? And it's just, that's not enough for you, so now you got to do these fucking drugs and smoking and taking pills, and I don't know. It's fucking nuts. It's crazy. But that was the side he showed, and I wish that movie showed two sides, because I ain't never fucking smoked no weed, never did no fucking lines, never did nothing before a show, you know, or traveled around and did all that the stuff. Even going out when we go out after shows, you know, to the bar, you know, and the fans go out. I'd have maybe a beer or two, and most of the time I didn't even go out, you know what I mean?
Right.
I kept myself out of that. But we got other guys, and I know this, I've heard it from people. We got guys that go out to the bars, then they go back to fucking apartments or houses of wrestling fans, and then they're doing fucking lines of cocaine on the fucking table. It's fucking unbelievable. And I hate to say it, it's some of our fucking, you know, CZW has some top guys that are doing this kind of shit. And you guys need to get your fucking shit together, man, I'm telling you. You know, I mean, I don't know. That's that movie, and then it makes me think of these J.C. Bailey, Trent. You know what I mean? Who's going to be next? You know, I mean, and I'm sorry about the ones I'm not mentioning, because I know there's a lot of other
Right.
people too. They're just in my mind right now. My fucking son died the same fucking way. Fucking pills. 18 years old. And my other one fucking tried to kill himself with 7 bags of fucking heroin. He's in fucking prison right now. Stop. I'm sorry.
The part I was going to touch upon next, Trent. just happened to be on the way we're going through the questions. Returns to CZW. What were your thoughts on having him come back?
One of them back, one of them straight. Never worked out. Never worked out. I caught him in a fucking parking lot smoking pot with a fucking underage girl. Like, I don't know if it was the first show back or somewhere close to it. And I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. You know what I mean? It's never going to stop. And people say, oh, it's just pot. It's never just pot.
Right.
Pot leads to fucking other things. You know what I mean? You can only get so high on pot. And then you need, you know, a pill. Or you need fucking a line. Or you need a fucking shot. You know what I mean? And I don't even know what happened to Trent. I don't know how he died. I never asked, you know what I mean? I just have to assume it was a closed casket. He was a good-looking fucking kid. If he was my son, I would want the casket open unless he was looking really fucking bad. And the only thing going to make that kid look bad, you know as well as I do, he's a good-looking kid, is fucking drugs. It must have really, really tore him up. And that's fucking horrible. Your mother can't even have an open casket, you know what I mean, to show off her fucking son. I don't know. But his comeback, it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same. He wasn't the same Trent. You know, he never really was clean. He really wasn't. I mean, maybe for a short time when he got out of jail, but as soon as he gets to the arena, and you know,
As soon as you walk through that gate, I think a lot of people, and I think JC was the same way. It's, you know, what I mean, they lived it almost like a rock star lifestyle
that's
for
what they are. That's exactly what they're
for
like
200 or 300 people.
Right.
I mean, you were always a super firm believer in Trent, and just watched his progression. I mean, he was basically like your franchise guy, you know what I mean? And having him come back in that state, were you just like, was I wrong about this, or just he'll never be what he could have been?
I remember talking to him. He was down on himself, like after the match and things like that. And I told him it's going to take time, and I hoped that it would. But he needed to stay off of the shit too. You know what I mean? I hoped that he would get better. And he's a natural, dude. It's fucking in him. I said it before. He's not great at anything, but he's good at everything. And by the time the match is done, it was a great match. You know what I mean? Sometimes it takes a while to get there, but he knows how to close. He definitely knows how to close. That motherfucker's, you know, he closed it out now. I mean, I don't know. Did he ever even fucking... Never really worked, you know what I mean? Wrestling was just his thing. And supposedly he was a musician. He played guitar or something, too. Yeah, I mean, that's talent, you know what I mean? I never heard him play or whatever, but...
Yeah, I never did.
To have that much talent and just let it go. I don't know. I mean, I hear, like, up in the big times when the New York guys fucking lose their job, a lot of them turn into fucking car salesmen, you know what I mean? And then next thing you know, you'll hear about them being fucking dead somewhere. It's like when you get that big and then, you know, the rug gets pulled from under you, where do you go? I mean, you know what I mean? Can you really go sell cars after performing in front of fucking millions of people? So, I mean, I don't know. Somebody like Trent, as small as he is, but he's been around the world, several countries, you know, different states. And, I mean, is that part of it? Did wrestling, you know, him not being that person anymore, was he down on himself? Was he depressed, you know what I mean? And maybe that's part of it. I mean, I don't know. It's just, I don't know what did it, but it's just, it's a shame. He's one that used to call me with, you know, some like heart-to-hearts. Nothing like Cash, nowhere's even close to that. But he would call me up, and he would always seem to be concerned about the company or the product, you know, like, he wouldn't do it at shows, but he would call me, and like, you know, we never really talked about it, you know what I mean, at the arena or anything, but I don't know, it was just, he was a waste of talent. I look at these kids, you know, over the past few years with Vince using little guys. Who's the fucking kid that thinks he's Morrison, the fucking on there, comes out like the pretty boy with the jacket and the glasses. John Morrison. He's like, comes out. That was fucking Trent. You know what I mean? I swear, that whole tag team. Remember that tag team? That was like the Backseat Boys. Right. And Vince he said, and I don't blame him, because why would you take a fucking closet fucking, I don't even know, you know, Scatterbrain, the other half, you know, him, and Trent is just a mess. I mean, you know what I mean? So why would you can't, you know, risk putting any money into those guys. So they said, oh, well, they got a good thing. We'll do it with them, you know. And the one dude's still there, and the other one obviously is gone. Because we used the one, right?
Joey Matthews,
Yeah,
Joey
Matthews,
Mercury.
a little
Well,
bit.
he's back again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he-
but I
is
mean,
he
he
back in there?
he basically told Trent, you know, a lot of it was your gimmick.
Yeah, I'm just going by. Nobody told me that. I'm going by looking. You know, back
Right.
when them dudes came out, that could have been them guys. You know, but nobody's going to take a risk on that. It's one that's bad enough when you get in there and you start getting fucked up. You know what I mean? Then Vince will put you in rehab. You get your shit together. But when you're a mess before, he don't want you. You know. But yeah, that could have been Trent. He had all the talent that them fucking dudes got.
What's your fondest moment of Trent?
It's fucking. It's another thing. I don't have one moment. His personality was different than Cash's. He had fun though. I don't know. I'm thinking of that fucked up match that he had with the that kid from Canada. And the whole fucking place was going nuts, and the match.
Oh, Teddy Hart.
The match wasn't even that great, but the fucking place.
Match was
going,
horrible.
But
But-
they were
right.
going nuts. They were buying. You know, they were doing exactly what they had the fans in their hands, and to have a bad match and still have the fucking fans. I mean, that's. I don't know. I don't even know where the fuck that came from. But
They did nothing. And
I don't want to say that. I don't know if that's what's popping in my head. And that's
Right.
not a fond. It's not
Right.
my fondest memory. But
it showed that he can work.
yeah, like they did nothing, and them fucking places were going nuts. And ever since that one time, because I think that's the biggest that's ever happened. And I know other people have gotten kind of that or tried to get that, but I don't know. I don't know if I've ever heard anybody going nuts like they did for them fucking two dudes. So that's a big memory for me. I don't want to say fondest, but it was a big memory. I did something with him, and again, this might not be fondest, but it's a
Memory, yeah.
in Italy. This oh man, what happens in Italy stays in Italy. This broad over there. Let's just say that. This broad over there, fucking. My first night there, I wound up in a room, telling her to help me narrate with the TV.
Right.
Was she spoke both, and I'm in there with her, and I don't know. We're talking, and the next thing you know, we're messing around, and she keeps on saying something about somebody. I don't know. Let's just say Bobby. She's like, oh, Bobby. I'm like, Bobby what? Fuck Bobby. Oh, with work or something. I said, relax. This ain't got nothing to do with work. Relax. And next thing you know, we're messing around. And next morning, I get up, I go in my room, and a little while later, here she comes with Bobby. It's not just her boss, it's her fucking boyfriend. He was just late getting there. And I didn't understand because she's doing this broken English thing, and here I am. I'm relax, because it was like a business. I thought she didn't want to mess business up. You know what I mean? And here it was her boyfriend. Didn't matter, and I wound up, still just a little secrecy thing every time I went over there. Well, Trent, must always be, saying how cute Trent was, and tells this other dude, Bobby or whoever the hell it is, and I think he even made a comment to me about, what's going on with Trent? I don't like. I think he's talking, or something, and I'm laughing. So we go out and we do a show, and I'm like, I don't know. We go out and do a show, and afterwards they took us out to a restaurant. We go out to a restaurant, and there was a rose person in there. So I said, come here. I sent a rose over to the girl, and I said it's from Trent, and the Bobby dude was there. Oh, he lost it. Trent was pissed. You motherfucker! You fucking send that fucking rose over there, because he swore that Trent had something going on with her, but it wasn't. It was me.
Right.
Yeah. So that's it. Again, it wasn't a fondest memory, but it was funny.
Funny story.
Trent was fucking pissed.
Did you go to the funeral?
I went to the viewing. Yeah, I didn't stay. I just went in and I talked to the mom. stepdad and dad. Talked to all three of them, and I couldn't even get the mom to. She was gone, man. She was really hurting. I mean, I got the old man to stand up and started saying, "Yeah, he was my little crumb." I was trying to make him understand that Trent was young and he's gone, but he touched a lot of people's lives, and almost like he's. I hate to say this, but it's not like he's just a drug addict laying there in that fucking box. I mean, there was a lot of people that respected him. A lot of people looked up to him. Wrestlers that want to be Trent Acid, you know. I was trying to explain that to them and let them know that he left something behind, more than just, you know, the negative things that people would say. And I believe that. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people watch Trent Acid on tape and, you know, and wow, I want to be like that. I want to be like that, you know. And so I was talking to him with that, and the dad got up and he was going, "Yeah, I used to call him my little crumb." Trent was a fucking slob. He says, "Everywhere he'd go, there'd be crumbs in my house." You know, whatever, always crumbs. You know, he opens his fucking bag, and you're like, Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? To say, I don't know how often he washed his friggin' work clothes, but he was a mess. That shit would be ripped, and he would tape it up. He would be taped up, looking like he just walked out of like a bum in the fucking woods, and still go out there doing his thing, and girls putting dollars in his fucking pants. You know what I mean? So, you know, I was trying to explain that to everybody, and I did, and the stepdad kind of acknowledged, and we smiled a little bit, and the dad, and we smiled, and I tried to say the same thing to mom, so it was 3 different times I was talking to different people, and it was making me feel better as well, you know, I mean, that was the way I was feeling, and I was just trying to make them understand, because we never seen his parents at shows and stuff all the time. I'm sure they were in the beginning, just like everybody, but we didn't see them, and I tried. I'll tell you, his mom was. I couldn't even. She barely wanted to look up. You know, but I said what I had to say. I gave her a hug and I got out of there. I'll be honest. I didn't really want to. I just wanted to go, say hi, goodbye, and tell people how I felt. And I got out. So I didn't go to the funeral. I didn't want to hang out with a bunch of, you know, I seen a bunch of wrestlers and you know and stuff there, and I just wasn't there to hang out. So I went and did my thing, and got out.
Were you scheduled to appear at the memorial show for Trent? Because it was like Johnny advertised you, pretty much.
This is
what's the story?
Before he was fucking, do I say cold?
In the ground.
I was getting calls. He wasn't even in the ground. I mean, and I was getting text messages from somebody. And I wish I could remember word for word. And finally, they wanted to have a match with me at Trent's memorial show. This is like the day I heard he died or something, and I want to have a match with you, and something, and I sent back. I says, I only do death matches, and who the fuck is this or something?
Right.
I had no, because it was, and then he said it was Kashmir. So I don't know where he got my number, but, and then he was asking me to do something with him, an angle, either, you know, a match or, you know, something where we go out and we act like, you know, we're going to do something. And then he says, and then maybe we'll do like a big man hug or something. And then he goes, like some you know, just joking, you know what I mean, like trying to be funny that he's out, you know, he's gay now, so
because he's
out, trying to make it funny. But I told him that I guess we would talk about it. No, you know what I said? Talk to CZW about it. Talk to CZW. But I said, I did tell him, I says I would do this for Trent, but I kept saying talk to CZW. I didn't know what was going on. I thought CZW, I mean, if I was there, I would have been doing a show for Trent.
Right.
And I thought that's what was going on. Because I kept saying, talk to CZW, talk to CZW. And next thing I know, I find out CZW ain't doing the fucking show. DJ, like, gave his blessing and said, use the building.
In the afternoon.
Yeah, and do a memorial show. When it got to that, I said, this is bullshit. I said, this fucking kid is just trying to get him fucking self over, just like he always did. This is the way I took it. You know, he's trying to get himself over, get himself in the ring with me, you know, and is just trying to get himself over. That's what I thought. But I'll be honest, and I didn't even want to. When I knew that was going on, I didn't want to go there.
Mm-hmm.
I went. I seen the family. I didn't have to go to the memorial.
Right.
I don't feel like I missed anything.
Right.
I don't feel like Trent's mad at me because I didn't go. Didn't lose sleep over it. But I did hear that the show seemed to go well. I thought it was going to be a bunch of fucking drug addicts tripping over their own feet, all fucked up because of the people who I heard was on it. But I did hear that everybody kept their composure pretty well. I heard there was a lot of nice things said. I heard they raised some good money for the family, and they gave the family money. And I applaud them. But I did not think that's where that was going. I thought this was just Cashmere's twisted brain. This will get us back in the arena, and we'll do this, and we'll do that, and we're going to do a great show, and we're going to blow CZW away, and, so I totally just backed out, and, but I never got contact from CZW because it was never a CZW show. When I found out that it wasn't CZW, I didn't want no parts. But I am glad. I heard that it was very nice. I heard the parents did come. And I'm glad for that, that they got to feel the love, because I heard it was really crowded, and
Right.
that there was a lot of love there, if I remember, just from what I was told. And I'm glad the parent. I really wish I did go now, because I would have liked to have felt, what everybody else felt, because I'm sure some of the things that were said in there were probably, very heartfelt. But didn't lose sleep over it, but it would have been nice to be there, you know what I mean? But I really did not believe it was going to be. I just thought it was going to be a mess. When I'm hearing fucking Axel Rotten and guys like this on the card, I'm just picturing people tripping over their own feet, you know what I mean? But it turned out okay from the sounds of it, Whew, I'm getting tired of fucking doing that, man. These fucking kids.
I agree. Two PWU mainstays come in, Devin Moore and Drew Blood. What were your thoughts of having them come in into the company? Was that your doing, or did you want one more than the other?
Drew Blood has been around, has showed up, I think, at the wrestling school and worked out a few times. I think I've seen him more, but I didn't feel he was ready. The other kid was with those guys. I don't even know where he came from, but he was one of those shooting star press guys jumping off of freaking scaffolds and balconies. I think I heard that. So him probably sparked my attention more so. One thing I will say about Drew Blood, I ran into him one time somewhere, and he knows where that is, and didn't know who he was, and he was with a friend, and wasn't a big deal, but it was just a respect thing. Him and some had a friend with him, and Drew went in the bathroom, and his friend says to me, he says, "Do you think he'll ever make the big times, in wrestling or something like that?" And I looked at the kid and I says, "Did you ever go watch him wrestle?" He says, "Yeah." I said, "Did you ever see him sign an autograph?" He says, "Yeah." I said, "Then he's already made it." "Did you ever sign an autograph?" He says, "No." I said, "He already made it." Once you sign an autograph, if you only do one, I mean, you did what you know what I mean? You're at that point, you were a star to somebody, you were a superstar. It don't mean you're going to wrestle for Vince. This is just my opinion.
Right.
Once you sign that autograph, it's like just an awesome feeling, and it's like an accomplishment feeling. You know what I mean? And then you get the next level where you're friggin' selling pictures of yourself, or you get a friggin' I used to think the action figure. I always thought once you get an action figure, you made it, man. That's it. You know what I mean? Which it isn't true. There's people, all kinds of people with action figures out there, and where are they at now? You know what I mean? Including me. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, I told Drew came back out of the bathroom, and I told him, I said, "You ain't see me here, boy," and I ain't see nothing. And never heard a word of that ever. Never on the internet. Never at a wrestling show. He never brought it up to me. It was never said. It was just a fucking strip bar. It wasn't a big deal,
Right.
but I was in a strip bar. And I'm not a big strip bar guy, though, so don't get the idea. But I was in a strip joint, and I believe it was down Wildwood, and it's when I was doing a lot of work down there. And I told him, and I was just kind of being more funny than anything. I told him, I said, "You didn't see me," and he never said anything about that. And that was kind of a respect thing. So you got the other kid who's jumping and doing flips off of things, who obviously either he's crazy or has some kind of talent. And then the other kid, I know he's been working hard for a long time. Didn't feel he was ready yet, but then I met him, and I did have a respect for him because he never did say anything about it, never came out. So then it was kind of always in the back of my head. That's part of the reason why Drew Blood was even in CZW, just because I respected him after that. Little information that nobody would know about.
Another guy who had a big run during that time, Painty Sanchez.
Charisma, Chris Cash style, I guess you could say. I didn't understand it, but you know,
If it works,
it worked. It worked for him.
Also, Sammy Callahan came in at that point.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of guys were like, "Well, Sammy's Mr." I think he got a bad rub right away because everybody said he was playing politics, but I think he had the drive. You know what I mean? What were your thoughts on him?
A lot of personality. Fucking huge fat kid turned skinny. They say he was like 300 something pounds or something like
Yeah.
that, and then like got rid of all his weight. No, I like him. I think he had good charisma. I don't think he's. I don't want to say he's not talented because he's definitely talented. I don't think he's overly talented. I think he's one of those dudes that has the charisma and personality. And
Where the
you
character-
the character, that's what you need. You can't just go out there and just be this, body. He has that, and and he's got some talent to go with it. So between the two, he's good. And again, I'm not blind. I heard that politicking thing. I don't know what that was ever really about. I was asked that, and people said that to
Right.
me, but I don't really know who he was politicking with or
'Cause
what
it
he
was-
was doing. It would have
Yeah,
eventually
because it
go
was
to me,
always
and that really doesn't work with me. So
it was always, oh, he's in John's ear, he's in John's ear. But
no, he would sir, how was it? Did I do okay for you? That type of thing, but.
yeah.
It doesn't. People can say that all day long. It doesn't. It's what I'm watching. If it's good, it works. It does. It don't. And I think he's another one. Wanted to do a little hardcore, then didn't want to do any. But I don't think he ever stepped over too far into it where he had to stay in it. You know what I mean? Where he don't have to.
He
use
brought it to
gimmicks.
I think he would bring it to the feud level where you did it, and then you can back out,
Right.
and then go back up to it.
Right. That I think that, and that's a good way to be if you do that. Once you go over that line to a wife beater or a Zandig or a Mondo or a fucking Elliot and Ian
Havoc.
Rotten or a Pondo or a Havoc, then it's fucking then it's hard. Then you can't go out there doing hip toss arm drag. You know what I mean? Suplex. You gotta fucking.
You do Cage of Death that year, the end of 2008. Explosions don't go off. I think you look back on it and said that was like
Don't fucking tell me so. Yeah, I am a fucking
Okay.
certified
explosion expert. Right.
It's worded in the magazine as such, and if it's written, it's got to be true.
So that day you're a little off on your electrical work.
Tell you what happened. I didn't use electric. I used fucking 9-volt batteries, which we've used in the past with a switch, but we never went that distance. We pulled the wire all the way up to the top where Pancoast is. Normally we had a table next to the ring, and the wiring would be closer, and everything would have went fine. But it was too far away. It wasn't enough. If I would have hooked electric to it, it would have went, and that's my fault. I mean, that's where I'm not an electrician. And I'm not a fucking professional explosions expert. I'm a fucking plumber in reality.
Your thoughts on that cage match? Because I know you thought it was just the worst cage match you've done in the 10 years. That was one where you're
Can
really...
I remember? I hated it. Yeah, we had a problem with one of the on the top too. The top started to collapse on us. Was it wood? I think we had the beams bolted together and it broke. So it kind of everybody was like, watch it. Yeah, I didn't like it. I don't know what happened. That was supposed to turn into a big thing with me and the big boy.
Brain damage?
Brain damage. Me and him were not really supposed to get our hands on each other, but it was supposed to look like we wanted to, and we never fucking got to that. We had bolt cutters. At one point, we were supposed to be locked back in the cage fighting, and then we're supposed to use bolt cutters and cut the barbed wire off the top to get up through the fucking thing. And it never happened. It just seemed like, sometimes everything flows good. Nothing was flowing. And that was that the one
That's where Devin took the big bump.
Right, and I was supposed to go with him. But what happened was when we built the cage, and again, it's only my blame. When you do that, every year when we build it, I don't know if that's the one that Pankos, did he draw a picture of that? I don't know. That may be one. Pankos drew a picture, and I kind of designed it for him, and I went out there and did it. But what happened was when we built the cage, we had those fences that sat down on the corner of each of the ring to go up and do spots off of. We never set them on. We always had intentions on putting them on, but we never did it because, as usual, we were last minute, 2 days before, in there day and night building the thing. And while I was up, I remember being up top, and when they set them on top, I looked and I went, "Oh fuck, they're too big. We're not going to be able to do the fuck." Because we were going to do some spots, and we're like, "Oh fuck," and got out there, and it was just as bad. And it was like there wasn't even enough room for me to go off. I think. The kid you were just talking about, didn't he took a bump from up top and went
Devin,
through.
yeah.
No, Devin was, it was supposed to be a mother effing bomb. I wound up just throwing him.
Brain damage.
Callahan.
Oh, Sammy.
Callahan took something through as well and went down. And that was supposed to be 2 people and just couldn't fit because they took up too much room. And that was one of those, I can only take the blame. And I really got frustrated when I got out there. I was like, fuck, because we had so many things planned and then we couldn't do it. And I think everybody just kind of like, when I lost it, I think everybody just kind of lost it. And I think if I remember, I thought there was an alternative end to that match. And we almost should have did the alternative end. And I don't remember what it was, but it wasn't me going over. But when we got up top and the fucking thing broke, it was like, fuck. It was like from beginning to end. And it was just very frustrating, yeah. So I don't know what people said about it, but I hated it. And I don't know what people, if they liked it or not. I apologize. It was bad cage design, not enough planning.
Did that lead into you then really wanting to sell it? You know what I mean? Because like knowing you throughout the years, a lot of times like, okay, I'm going to be motivated during the summer. I'm going to lose a little motivation. I'm going to get remotivated towards Cage of Death. And then after that, you're kind of like spent. You know what I mean? Because I think you put, you know what I mean, like those few weeks going into Cage of Death, you just put so much... Yeah, so much like effort, time, and then for it to fall flat. Is that where you really started to like, maybe I need to try and get rid, like where does the, I want to get rid of the company come from again? Is it out of that, or was it already, or is it later on in 2009 that it comes up?
Was this with you?
No, this is now when you sold it to DJ. You know what I mean? Like, was the cage again the catalyst where you're like, I'm frustrated with this shit, I need to get out, or, you know what I mean? Because a lot of times you're always like, if I'm going to close it, I'm going to close it on the big show.
Right. I don't know. It's once again, I mean, it's possible. It seems like you're trying to find.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, because I don't know because I wasn't around.
I think it's more than it's. Like I said, it could be. It could be. What else can I do? What more can I do? Finance-wise, you know what I mean? Economy. Not really making money. Never really losing money per se, but you handle money. The money comes, through videos and pays for the building. And then, is there anything left? No, we don't have enough for the building this month. So, I mean, that's all very stressful. It's like, how long can I hold on to this? So that's scary. When I first started, I used to come with a pocket full of money, you know what I mean? And then it got to the point I came with no money, and then it all covered itself or it wasn't happening. And that's the way. But it also needed, I think, also knowing that there's something better here, and if somebody else had more money and could put the money and time into it, because my time also, all the time I did put in energy, stress, just draining you down, ideas, you know what I mean? Losing the family aspect as well. It just wasn't CZW anymore when you're in your locker room and you're looking around and you're like, who the fuck is that? Who is that? And I'm the one that's always practicing, preaching family, and this is a close. And people are coming up to me and asking me who the fuck is it, and I'm like, I don't even fucking know. I mean, it just got to that point at times. So, but I think it's an accumulation of a lot of different things. It's not just one thing. It wasn't just a bad match, because I've had bad matches before. Cage of Death with a flop. I didn't like it. I hate it. And sometimes, I hate something and other people like it. But that definitely that could have sparked it. You know, wanting it to go, wanting it to have energy behind it. Somebody who would take it different places or try, and at least try to keep it together. I just think it's an accumulation of things. It wasn't just one thing in general, to be honest.
So how did that all come about in 2009? Like where did it? We'll go over something first, and then we'll come to that. 2009, bringing in Thumbtack Jack for the first time. Thoughts on him coming in?
As long as he's doing hardcore, he's all right. I think he's kind of
A new version of Mondo?
I was going to say I don't want to knock Mondo.
Right.
But Mondo was limited in his bumping, the way big bumps and all that, great.
Right.
You know what I mean? But the actual wrestling part, it's almost like a Cash, you know what I mean, where he really didn't have a good punch and different things that you could nitpick apart. And I don't want to nitpick it too much because Mondo was, a lot of people's favorite. And
I was just more like
but
the
yes, that's
charisma. Like
exactly
the
what
fans.
you said. That's exactly what was going on in my head. But I was going to say that's who he reminds me of, and but he really needs to. As long as he's doing the hardcore, he's got it. If he doesn't do the hardcore, I feel he's one of those guys that has to do it. Watching him in the ring, the whole needle syringe thing, that was off the hook. I mean, I wouldn't even want to touch it. You know what I mean? And we did it, and he brought the friggin' things with him from Germany. I brought him a box of regular ones, like about this big from here that we took, and he pulls out all these things like this long. They look like them things they stick in you for acupuncture or whatever it is. Is that what that's called?
Acupuncture, yeah.
Yeah, but that was sick. I mean, how the hell do you top that? But yeah, he very respectful dude. Thank you. I know we talked before. One of his dreams was like to wrestle with me, and it would have been cool to have a match with him. And I offered, but obviously, he's got to do what he's got to do. And now, geez, did he break his back wrestling?
Yeah.
Well, I thought he was done. I mean,
he wasn't doing ultra violent. He was doing more hardcore. So he would eliminate the light tubes, I think was the thought, but he would still bleed, take bumps on cinder blocks or whatever. It was just really getting rid of the glass.
Is he walking? I mean,
yeah.
All right,
I think it was just like.
So then I can say, you fucking idiot! I wouldn't have broke your back. You should have came the fuck down and wrestled me.
Yeah. The part I meant with Mondo was like he just got that fan reaction.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes people are just drawn to.
Cut my life into pieces.
Like a character, and he was that character.
That's who he reminded me of. I was kind of twisting a little bit because I was looking deeper into it. But yeah, he had that automatic, thing that people liked immediately. And I hate this motherfucker because he's a fucking idiot. But that kid from fucking Canada again, supposedly Bret Hart's nephew or whatever his name is.
Teddy Hart.
That kid too. It's the same fucking thing. He walks in the fucking ring and the motherfuckers think Hulk Hogan's in the ring. Like, why? Where does that come from? Big deal. You can do a fucking moonsault, land on your fucking feet, or he does a move or two, and then he fucking stands up and like looks like Justice playing with the nose up. You know what I mean? Like, cheer for me. It's like, all right, do a whole fucking match, dude. Don't stop in between your moves. You know what I mean? But it worked. So why? How? I don't get it. I mean, he was a good-looking kid, so I can see the girls or boys. He hung around Feinstein quite a bit too. I could see the fucking girls or boys cheering for him. But have you ever seen him like really do like a good whole match with spots and storyline?
No, there's a lot of rest.
It's a spot
Pieces.
fest, and then he stops and then does a couple flips. It's crazy. He's another one that would come and cry, oh, my back. And then he would go out and do fucking a bunch of shit off the top. Motherfucker, all that shit you did, you could have had a match. You know what I mean? Sorry about them scratches on your head, by the way. It wasn't intentional.
Another big debut for the company was John Moxley.
Yeah, he's got good personality, too. Whole time he's in there, he's in character. No matter what's going on, he's in character. Yeah, I like him. I think, does he have a CZW belt? Because I said I wanted him to be a champion over there, so I'm glad he did finally get there. He deserves it.
Probably
he came with the The
He
little
came in
manager.
with
Who was the little manager, owner of a company guy?
Rodney Rush.
Is that what his name
Right,
was?
yeah, Dan.
He said he would rather bring his guys up here than actually have them on his show. He felt it was better for them to be up here, and that was respectful of him, you know what I mean? And I think he was helping get himself over at the same time, you know what I mean?
Right. Your next to last show, I think it was, or one near the end, the Tournament of Death where Gage.
Oh, wait a minute. Ain't he the one that fucking somebody hit him with the fucking chair? He stuck his head through the ring, that manager dude, and they fucking smacked him in the side of his face? Do you remember that spot?
I know. Dahmer dropped him on his head one time.
He got smacked with the fucking chair sideways. I'm pretty sure that was him. I don't remember who did it, but I was like, oh, fuck. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. Sometimes I have those cringes, you know?
Those thoughts of like, ouch.
Yeah.
One of your almost last shows that you promoted, the Tournament of Death where Gage got hurt and had to be airlifted out.
Oh, yeah, that was fucking nice. You know, we didn't even know we were getting that spot. That was DJ's parents, the backyard. And I had a place in Jersey where I was just going to say, fuck Jersey, and we were going to do it. I had a bar down in off of Route 40 down, heading towards the shore, like Elmer area, I guess. Friend of a friend, guy owned the bar, said, yeah. I had a big field out back. They do a lot of biker rally things going on there, so it was kind of a good spot. And I knew I had that as a backup because we still didn't know. DJ was fucking working his ass off to try to get approved over there. He was jumping through all kinds of hoops. And at the whole time, I'm just letting DJ do what he had to do because I wanted to do it there. But if need be, in the back of my head, I got this spot. Yeah. Well, like the day before, I checked just to make sure because it was right down to like the day before. The dude backs out and says, I don't want you to do a show. He wouldn't even get on the phone with me. I had to go see a friend of a friend. I seen his dad. His dad owns a steak shop and he owns a bar. I went and talked. I said, yo, what's going on with your kid? I said, I got a show coming out. I said, he ain't called me. He says, he don't want to do it. He's scared. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, he went on the internet and he's seen some of the stuff you guys do and he's scared. He says he's afraid somebody's going to die. So at that show with DJs, in my head, I got this guy saying somebody's going to die, and I always say nobody died on my watch. And when that happened to fucking Nicky, dude, I'm thinking, oh my God, this motherfucker. I was scared. I thought he was going to fucking die. I mean, if you seen the blood, I seen the blood coming out of him. I was scared, dude. I was like, I was just really scared. And with that guy saying it to me, you know what I mean? It just made it worse, and I couldn't believe it. I mean, thank God, you know, everything's all right, but yeah, I was shitting. I was scared. I think you even said I was white as a ghost or something.
Oh, yeah, I was like, I started freaking out. I'm just like, because I'm streaming from the camera to you like he's fucked, you know, he's hurt bad because he raised his arm and it just poured like a faucet. I'm like, that's not good, you know.
No, they said it was minutes. It would have been minutes and he would have bled out if he would have tried, like, because he was trying to keep on going,
right,
and get up and all. And luckily we got him to stay down. But yeah, dude, I was scared. I thought he was done. That's another thing that makes me not being there or not doing this because, knock wood, nobody's ever died of me watching. We've all been cut up in stitches, and I think there's been a couple small broken bones over the years, but nothing much. And I'm glad to have done it and got out and nobody really getting, and the people who did get hurt, I'm sorry and thank you for, you know, what you did for the company. But I'm glad I got out. And then when I did, remember the kid that died at the training over there? I mean,
Sammy's friend.
Had nothing to do with wrestling.
Right.
Well, had nothing to do with CZW. But the kid had a brain hemorrhage or something, and he died. And when I got a call, I'm like, oh, my God. I mean, I was always afraid of that. You
right,
know?
And that was...
With the wrestling school or wrestling shows, I mean, it's scary. I mean, because it doesn't take much, you know?
That was, what, 3 or 4 weeks after?
Yeah, well, it wasn't that far. And then I heard that the dad came up here and got him and said, you know, he was glad, not glad, but I guess, I don't know how to word it. I think he was glad that his son died doing something he loved because he knew he loved wrestling. So he wasn't like up here wanting to kill somebody because, you know, of his son. He said, you know, it happened and I'm glad it was doing something that he loved. But they said his head, I think they did like an autopsy and he had like a lot of, like maybe hits to the head or something. I remember they said about that. So he was like, that dude was on the way out somewhere, you know what I mean, sooner than later.
Sooner than later.
It makes me wonder what other people's, the rest of our heads, look like, you know what I mean?
And they said the same thing about JC's brain. I mean, that's what his dad claims. But I think there was a little bit, a mixture of, you know, and that's my personal thoughts of like his years of the drug abuse. Right.
Well, where did they find him?
At his house, overdosed, you know, or what they say is overdosed or a mixture.
Did they call it an accidental death or anything, or no?
He's never, the father's really never said to me. But I mean, he admitted that he did take, he wanted to go in the next day into rehab, and you can't go in clean.
Right.
So he did take some stuff that
Yeah,
night.
but you only need to take a little bit to do that. I've heard of people doing that, when you have to take a little hit of something just
Right.
so something's in you.
So
My son did it. John.
I guess we go down this road. You know what I mean? Of you know, the JC, you know, and then I called you that morning when he passed. You know, what was that like? Because that was 6 weeks between him and Trent. There wasn't much time.
Yeah, it was ridiculous, but also, I hate to say it, expected.
Right.
The two of them.
The two of them, I agree.
If I heard that this happened to you, I would be holy shit.
Right.
It happens to them, I'm like, you fucking kids, you know what I mean?
Right.
What the fuck?
Oh,
When you called me about JC, that day, I got a word that my son was doing Oxycontins. Went home, banged on his door. He didn't open the door. I banged on the door. He didn't open the door. He's got his bedroom door locked. No. Yes, that's the way it happened. Banging, he wouldn't open. I says, Coat, open the fucking door. And I hear like, no. I said, I'm going to count the fucking 3. Open the door. 1, 2, kick the fucking door right off the fucking hinges. Hit him. His fucking had a chicken bed with him, his girlfriend at the time. And I ripped him the fuck up out of bed. Fucking grabbed him. And kind of like I do in wrestling sometimes. I ran up one side and down the other. And then it wound up, you know, hugging and saying we love each other after. But I says, what the fuck is going on? I says, you worked with me a couple days ago, I says, and you were gone. I says, and you told me that you took a Xanax. I says, were you taking fucking Xanax? I said, or were you taking Oxycontins? And he's looking at me, you know, and the eyes are a mess, and he goes, well, it wasn't Xanax. And I says, are you fucking kidding me, dude? I said, you promised me you weren't going to do this shit. And he's like, oh, no, I'm sorry. And I looked at the girl, and I says, are you a fucking part of this problem or what? I says, is it because of you? And she's like, no, I've been telling him to stop. She says, we were both doing them, and I stopped, and I've been telling him to stop. And so I'm yelling at him and telling him he needs to fucking stop. And I had my other son in the truck, Johnny, who just went through the whole fucking thing, and he should have been dead. I said, your fucking brother's outside in the fucking car right now. I says, I'm trying to keep him alive. I says, I'm not ready to lose a fucking son, Coat. I says, you remember J.C. Bailey? You've been to wrestling shows? I said, he fucking just died. I got a call this morning from fucking drugs. I says, now fucking, I says, look at you. You're a fucking mess. I says, Coat, I love you. I don't want to lose a fucking son. And I told her, you need to fucking straighten him out or straighten him out. And I told him, and then we hugged, and he was crying, and I was crying. And, you know, he was like, you know, I'm sorry, I'm going to stop and all that. And I left. And then it seemed like I would see him, and he was, you know, he was okay. I think he was getting off of it. And then it wasn't the case. His girlfriend told me, obviously too late afterwards, that he did slow up a little bit, and then it got to the point where he said, what the fuck, my dad knows now, I might as well just do it. Because my kids are very respectful to me. Like my son Johnny doesn't even let me see him smoke cigarettes, but yet he smokes cigarettes. You know, a thing like that. Cody was so quiet about everything, never wanted to disappoint me. My kids don't want to disappoint me, even though, I mean, we all disappoint our parents at times. But when he knew that I knew, she said that it almost made it worse. And I was like, what the fuck, that's fucking great. Then what, I did something wrong, you know what I mean?
right.
And then what really happened was, and I learned this after, she had an ex-boyfriend. This girl's like, my son was 18. He just turned 18. She was 23 with a baby, like a 2 or 3 year old son. and his dad was in jail, and his dad came out of jail, and when he came out of jail, I learned now my son was only doing shit for about like 6 weeks. When he came out of jail, I think my son was so worried she was going to go back with him. She would go there to take the kid and pick the kid up, and he don't know what's going on over there. And the dude was supposed to be some badass, kept saying he's going to kick my son's ass. And I have text messages still on my son's iPhone, I still have it on, of him telling that dude, "You're supposed to be so bad, motherfucker, come over in my driveway." So
Right.
kind of proud of my son
Right.
standing up for himself. But I think what was going on, when that dude got out, my son started taking pills to make himself feel better because he was getting depressed and upset over
Right.
her. But I don't think what he didn't know and what I didn't know until I have my girl look on the computer and tell me what these Oxycontins do, they cause fucking like this uncontrollable depression and often turns to suicide but it makes you high, and for the minute you're high and it makes you feel better. But then like you're going off of it and you get depressed and you keep getting more and more and more depressed. And I think that's what happened with my son. You know what I mean? He went to Gab's house, and which is his cousin. It's like they're like best buddies. And he went upstairs and went to bed and fucking just took, I guess, as many pills as he could fucking take, and he killed himself. And it was, and I had him in my hands that morning, like, you know what I mean? And I can't believe that I couldn't stop it. But if it's weird with the JC, right after you called me, I'm telling, it was that day, and I went to him and I says, we just lost JC Bailey. I said, you know what I mean? I'm not ready to lose a fucking son here. You know what I mean? I know I just went on a little bit of a thing, but
No,
it really did. The JC thing, I mean, I said that right to him, and I'm sure I said the Trent thing too, and I told him, I said, your brother's out there. I mean, he's out doing fucking crack and everything else, and I'm trying to get him straightened out. And he just promised me it was all going to be good. It wasn't. He went and took his own fucking life. And he was depressed over a girl. And my family all wants me to contest and fight the fucking autopsy and all. I said, there's nothing to fight. They said that he took so many, they can't call it accidental death. They said they don't rule suicide very easily.
Right.
It's really got to be something substantial for them to say suicide. And I can't believe it. My son is the chicks, dude, when I went to his funeral, chicks out the ass, fucking, and everybody's going, oh yeah, he did that one, he did that one, he did that one. Girls coming up the day of the funeral, tattoos with my son's fucking initials and a dollar sign on their wrist. Dozens of them, the day of the funeral. I never even knew he had this many friends. I never even knew he was getting that much,
Pussy.
women.
Yeah.
And here he is with this chick who he's dead in love with. And I seen 20 chicks that were hotter than she was. And he was so dead in love that he killed himself. Now, I honestly believe it was those pills that made him so
That
depressed,
upset.
you know what I mean, to drive. He wouldn't have did it otherwise, you know what I mean? So some of you motherfuckers out there, if you're listening to this, your parents probably don't want to lose you either. But yeah, that was it. He took a bunch of fucking pills and he's fucking, he's gone. And he did it on fucking purpose. I mean, and I like to look at it as, if that's what he wanted, if that's what he really wanted, then more power to him. I'm glad that he did it. Not that he did it, that he did what he wanted to do and he's gone. And one thing that I look at to ease my mind on it is that my son had polycystic kidneys. And they said that he would need a kidney transplant in his teens at earliest. And he's had bad kidneys since he was a baby. So he just turned 18. So we're talking maybe by 19. And that means fucking dialysis and the bullshit of that. It's like you're just drained and the energy. And, you wonder why's God take, your 18-year-old kid when there's fucking 50-year-old drug addicts out there robbing people and doing shit. And, but I think I look at it like, maybe he was going to do a lot of suffering with that, you know what I mean? And now he's not going to suffer. You don't have to worry about nothing. Fucking kid died with a safe full of money.
Yeah, you said.
And a bag full of fucking pot. It's fucking crazy. He was selling fucking 2 or 3 pounds a week, this kid, and I never fucking knew it. I thought he was a nickel dime dude that smoked pot once in a while. I used to yell at him. I said, I know you're smoking pot. You better fucking stop. I said, it's going to lead to other things. I used to tell him.
Right.
And, no. He says, I need something to calm me down. I did finally get him to go to a doctor's, and they got him on some medicine. And I think he took 2 or 3 of the pills and said they gave him an upset stomach. And they stopped taking them. But anyway, yeah, he's gone. And now my other son is in fucking jail. Johnny. He was at CZW, Cage of Death.
Right.
He sent me a text message and says, "Yo, Pop, I'm at CZW," and I sent back word. you know,
So like a week ago.
yeah, and he never came home from there. And his mother got a phone call in the middle of the night and says he's in jail in Philly somewhere. I don't know for what. He's got warrants around here. He started last winter.
Right.
He
I remember.
called,
Yeah,
called,
that's
called
why.
me out in my driveway until I got 5 feet from him and he jumped in his freaking truck. But he also has a problem, you know what I mean? And his problem's way worse than what Cody's was. Like I said, Cody wound up going from pot to pills in about 6 weeks. He took his freaking life. I mean, it's crazy. I just can't even believe it. But now my other's like, he's in prison, and I don't know. He tells his mother, he says, "Mom, I'm doing like 10 years. Nobody even knows what he's in there. We don't even know what happened or anything at this point. But he's in trouble right now. I'm glad he's in there, though, because he wound up fucking dead on the street. I can't believe he isn't already. I mean, you know,
Right. Because you said he would just, like the conversations you and I had,
Johnny walks and talks and does exactly what the fuck he wants. Always has. He's not a follower. He's a leader. So, you know, and the drugs. You know, I never knew he did as much shit as he's doing. He said he's been smoking crack for a long time. Never knew it. Percocets. He started taking Percocets. The kid gave up a great job. He was making big money doing solar,
yeah.
which is a huge thing now. You know, he had his pickup truck. It only had 60,000 miles on it. All of a sudden, he decided he was going to be a drug addict. Left his wife and kid. I had his wife and kid living with me for almost a year. And, you know, he went out and just fucking became a fucking drug addict. Hurt people along the way. Had some car accidents, some hit and runs, and, you know, hurt himself, hurt other people. It's fucked up. I love him, you know what I mean? He's my son. And I know he doesn't want to do
bad.
Bad. I mean, he tells people that, but there's something. I sat down with doctors and psychologists with him just a couple months ago. I had him committed. And after having him committed, I wanted him taken the fuck out. I said, "You people don't know what you're doing." I said, "Why does he do this? Why can't he just say no?" I says, "If I don't want to do something, I say no." And they said, "Well, we really don't know. Everybody's different." I said, "Well, then what are you going to do for him in here?" "Well, we really don't know." This is a freaking, you know, supposedly some kind of a
PhD,
crisis center,
right.
you know, so I don't know. That's enough of that. God bless JC and my son and Trent and everybody else, and hopefully nobody else dies and some people listen to this. It's fucking, I mean, I'm not going to start crying or nothing
Right,
like
no.
that. But, you know, there's so much of this shit going to fuck on, man.
Do you
And
think
right
it's
in
just-
our locker room, right fucking CZW. I'm not stupid, motherfuckers. You know, they really need to get their fucking shit together.
Do you think it's just society or just...
It's definitely, you know what it is? It's society, but it's these fucking doctors, a lot of it, to just give everybody and anybody pills. And that seems to be the main thing is these pills nowadays, you know, the Percocets and the Oxycontins and that kind of shit. It's just bad, man. And it causing depression, you know what I mean? You just give up. Depression's bad enough without having taken a pill that causes you more depression, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like, when you first started, what the big thing was, oh, you know, some guys were drinking maybe a little bit of Coke, and then it's just, you know, I mean, the 10 or 15 years we've been doing, you just see it progress, and it's like, you know, like you said, like, you know, we always just leave the show right afterwards, and you
Right.
never, you know, I mean, if I saw you drink 2 beers in the 10 years I worked with you, I
Right.
think that was, I'm probably over-exaggerating by 1.
Right.
You know what I mean, where a lot of these people, it's like,
Most of the beers you see me drink, I was spitting them up.
yeah, 100, yeah, more, I think we put more on our cameras.
Sorry, Gar.
But a lot of them, it seems like they're using that little bit of a payday, you know what I mean,
To get high.
to just then go out and party afterwards.
Yeah, that's exactly what it seems like with a lot of them. It's crazy. And it's not all of them, though.
No.
Just like that movie. I don't want to say it's all of them.
You sell the company. How did that come? When did it really start to take place? Was it already a done deal at Tournament of Death? Was it basically just, you know, you just got to do the signatures? Because the last show was the Tangled Web 2, which was in August.
What was I sold it to him, but I also agreed to like hang around
Okay.
for a couple months or something. I don't remember exactly.
So it
what
was almost before that?
It might have been. or he may have gave me some. I don't remember exactly. He gave me like a down
Payment.
and then he was waiting on his loan. Like I said, I think he got his grandmother to co-sign. And
Right.
he was waiting on a loan or something, and it was. I don't even remember exactly, but it was. I agreed to stick around, and in case I was needed, for a little bit.
Right.
And I just basically, I was, I stayed. I was there a couple times, but I stayed back. I didn't tell anybody what to do. Just let him do his thing. And DJ was always asked my opinion of stuff.
Right.
Even before he even owned the company, he was asked my opinion. So I don't remember any big conversations or anything, but so I guess I'm trying to think. What happened? Tournament of Death, or was it at his
That was
parents?
at his parents.
Is that when did we have to save the match there? What happened there?
You had
Was
to
that-
save it.
Is that when
Nikki went
Nikki?
out. You're right.
Yeah, and me and
then-
DJ something.
And then DJ went over, right?
It was
That-
I was. They said I was over, and then they
Right.
said the other dude was over.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a whole cluster just
Yeah.
because of the injury.
Yeah. I remember that.
I mean,
I don't remember if it was totally sold at that point.
because it was almost like you put together that August show, that Tangled Web show. It was like that was your,
Right.
because you did a lot of hardcore and stuff. You know what I mean? Like you kind of like ended on like, this is the way I want to end it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you did a lot more hardcore in that show.
Right.
Was it a long negotiation process? I mean,
A couple months probably, going back and forth.
what
It
do
was
you,
probably a couple months because he had to figure out how he was going to do it.
right.
He had to get up. I think he had to get up the balls probably to ask, his Graham. I think he might even have tried to get a loan and couldn't get one himself. I mean, so he was trying. I mean, he wanted
Uh-huh.
it. I think he was talking with Ty. I think Ty was helping him with things, or Maven.
Maven, yeah.
was talking to him. I think Maven actually, if I remember, I didn't know it until after the fact. I think Maven might have lent him money to get the ball rolling, to put a deposit, because I wanted, like I said, I wanted to be somebody inside
Right.
that could do it, and I think I mentioned it to Ty before, and I think Ty told me DJ wants it. DJ's been talking about it forever. He's been saying he's going to buy CZW someday, and I think that's how it came
Got the
about.
ball rolling.
Yeah. And then we talked, and it was, yeah, I want it, blah, blah, blah. And then I came up with a number. I said, well, this is what I'd like to get, you know what I
Right.
mean? But obviously I'm not. And then, I came up with another number, and then he came back, and he wound up going 10,000 less than what he was supposed to. And it wasn't all at once. Like I said, I had to wait. It wasn't like I was kind of
Right.
trying to get a lump sum. I didn't get it all at once. And then eventually it came in. He got it done. So it did take, it was a little bit of time doing, but he got it done.
Do you regret selling it?
I don't regret it. It's weird when somebody says, oh, you're still doing wrestling, or, oh, you're still on CZW, and you're like, nah, I'm done, you know what I mean? So that makes me feel weird. I don't lose sleep over it. Like I said, I'm glad to have gotten out with nobody really getting seriously hurt on my watch. I've done a lot with it. I've traveled all over places I never wanted to go anywhere, you know what I mean? And I've done a lot of things like that. At times, Mike, stop tapping on the table. What was I going to say?
Traveling that you didn't want to travel.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to pay out at the end. You know what I mean,
Yeah.
rather than closing the doors, which
Which is better than closing the doors. Or, I mean, like I said, the other thought was to put it out on the internet. Just throw it out there for sale. Maybe nothing would happen, or then again, you never know. You might get a Helter Skelter pop up and, give you friggin' $1 million.
Right.
Highly unlikely, but you know what I'm saying.
you don't know.
Yeah. But this was me trying to still kind of do the right thing, not just sell it to some Joe Blow for the money, even though, I mean, I would have rather got a lot more money, but I was trying to I wanted to keep CZW alive. I didn't want it to die, I didn't want it to end. I wanted it to keep going, even though I was stepping out, and I wanted it to kind of stay the same, I mean? I didn't want it to, totally change, and I don't know that it's totally changed or anything, because I don't really follow it that much. Obviously, Cage of Death's still going on, so it hasn't changed totally, But another thing, there's, you've been there. There's over the years, there's been times where I've made a good payday off of things,
Right.
like video sales or a video deal with one of these distribution companies, and that's nice. And then it got to the point, at the end, I'd call you up and say, "How we doing?" You're like, "Dude, we ain't got nothing. We're in the red." And usually, it used to be if I called you and said, "Yo, I
Yes,
need
yeah.
something," and you'd send me over a check or something. It got to the point where it was like, didn't have it, or you would be tapping into your own money to send to me something to get
Right.
me through whatever I was dealing with, and that's not good either. So now it's like, I'm doing this over and over, and I gotta put my energy somewhere else. You know what I mean? I can't keep putting energy into something, even though I always said it was never about money. But when I did construction and wrestling when I first started, it wasn't about money. But then when I started traveling all over the place, wrestling became my livelihood, my business.
Right.
It wasn't all about money. I mean, it was about love. I mean, I've always loved wrestling, but at the same time, I had to make a living. I had to pay my bills off of it, and you're not able to do that. I wasn't able to do that, and I don't think DJ is able to do that right now either. You know what I mean? He's probably taken out of pocket, I would assume, just like most wrestling promoters do, trying to get it to where it needs to be.
With your deal, is there a non-compete clause?
You know what? There was something in it. I don't even remember, Mike. I'll be honest. We ain't even got I don't even have a copy of a signed contract.
Really?
No. Never had it. Looked at it, talked about it, and me and the DJ ain't never got back together and even have, I don't even have one. So I'm sure there was something in there about not competing, you know what I mean? I don't remember what, how long, or anything like that. But I really had no intentions on wanting to compete.
Right.
I did, in the back of my head, I did think about still wanting to have like a training place, a place to still guys give an opportunity to kids to come train. You know what I mean? That was one thing that I did always still had that in the back of my head. But I never started CZW to be a promotion. That was never my intention. It was just to have a gym and a place to work out and have people come and learn how to wrestle. So that was in the back of my head, But as far as non-compete, I don't even know. You might get a phone call, or I might get a phone call now after somebody watches this tape,
Right.
but I don't know. How long has it been? I don't even know. Is it 2 years?
A year, 15 months.
15 months? I would imagine it's a couple years at least, but I don't remember. Like I said, as far as legitimate contract goes, I don't think we ever even really
Sign one.
both signed one. Yeah, I don't think we have.
Since you left, some of the things that are always said of that, under the new ownership, that he wants to run it like a business, that you never ran it like a business.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you take offense to that?
No, not really. He can run it however he wants. I mean, to me, when I first started CZW, it really wasn't being ran for a business. I was in a business, and that was something else that I was doing, and it started out, like I said, place for me to train in my ring, in my building, whenever I want it, however I want it. And then it was to give other people the opportunity to do the same thing, train in a good ring and learn how to do it. And, and then we started doing wrestling shows, but it was never about big money. It was never about making big money. But it seems like every time I tried to go the full business end and get involved with people, and take it to other levels, it just seemed like you're always running into a brick wall. You know what I mean? So it just wasn't, I don't take offense to it. He can do it, whatever he wants to do. I mean, the bottom line is what goes on in the ring, and people buying tapes and, and stuff like that is going to be able to keep them afloat. If you don't, then it's going to be gone. But I don't know. Business-wise, one thing I know, I never really paid attention to everybody. I didn't say, Mike, send me friggin' things on how much tapes are sold. I didn't tell Sabina, hey, give me a transcript of how many tickets were sold. I never really followed up on all that kind of stuff. And I think that's one thing that I think he's probably doing more of. He's probably trying to keep an eye on what's coming in and out.
Right.
And that's probably something I should have done, and especially when I said things were getting tighter and the money wasn't coming
Right.
in. Because when you got different people around, you don't know where money could be going. Even though I always say you're only as good as the people around you. I always felt I had good people around me, trustworthy people. So I I didn't feel I had to do that. It was
Right.
either there or it wasn't there. I call you up and you say
Right.
yes or you say no. I call Sabina, I say yes or no. It's yes or no, and I just, I will believe it. There's times when I look out at that crowd and they say, "Oh, there's only 300 people here." I'm like, "What am I fucking blind? There's got to be 600 fucking people out here." It's so. But at the same time, I don't feel there was anybody who was stealing from me. You know what I mean? That back door was fucking a constant of workers and workers' friends and all that. That was always a problem. And there was me being the nice guy, I guess. Just oh, it ain't no big deal. It ain't no big deal. So if DJ wants to be the heavy and what I mean, he wants to shut everybody out and force everybody to buy a ticket and come to the front door. And if it works, I guess great for him. But I don't take no offense. He can be a fucking businessman if he wants. Maybe probably be a better businessman and a better wrestler. You know what I mean?
The one thing you talked about where he tries to be almost you. You know what I mean? And I think you made it pretty obvious of like he needs to be himself.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was there for a little bit, it was like, oh, I got to go out and do John's role. Like, but you're not John.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
you don't have the connection of the fans. You
Right.
don't have the respect of the fans. You know what I mean?
He doesn't have any of those things yet, and it's good. And it's hard.
It would've been
who
easier.
could we have put in there? What other worker could have bought the company and it would have been automatic?
None.
No.
Rock and Rebel.
It would have to be somebody. I don't know. Like, say, what about
Wait,
Mondo? Mondo comes back and buys the company.
Mondo, wife beater, logo. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They come back and buy the company. Then,
Or Nick Gage bought the company.
yeah, then it would be a little easier. But DJ's got it hard right from the beginning, and then DJ also has that a little bit of that syndrome, like with you, the way you talk to people.
He has it more than me.
I heard that he's yelling at the motherfuckers before the match, like yelling before and then yelling after at the same time. You can't. People are going to get pissed off and they're going to lay down on you. I mean, that's the way I see it. And I heard that there's way too much yelling going on. And I think one of his key people around him actually said that to me and said he wanted to call me and talk to me about it. I don't know. It never happened. But I think they were one of the, tell me what's going on and ask me to talk to DJ and get him to calm down because they said he was really, fucking up the way he was talking to the boys.
Yeah, he would go in and I'd be like, dude, you gotta stop yelling. You know what I mean? It'd be beginning of the show yell, sometimes intermission, and then the end. I was just like, no more yelling. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the good things. And it was like I lasted 6 months, 9 months. It was just frustrating.
I don't know. And he's not a bad dude. As far as when he was with me, he would come and train. He'd be there every friggin' day. As far as whatever he asked him to do, Christ, he took like 3 weed whacker shots in one match. He was up on that roof with that one kid. It wasn't that high of a roof, but it was still a roof. And DJ is a big dude. He's up there with that kid, and that kid was supposed to take a bump off the roof at one of the tournament of deaths.
McBride or what? No.
The one that had the problem. The one that he was nervous around people. He had the young kid, Drew.
Yeah.
It wasn't true. It was
Andrew. Andrew?
Team apart, Andrew.
I can't think of his name.
Yeah, we're bad with names.
me too.
Andy Sumner.
Sumner, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, him. He was up there supposed to take the bump off the roof. And he chickened out and said, I can't do it. And DJ said, DJ looks down, John, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? I said, take the bump, dude. Just take the bump. Right from the ground, I looked up, said, take the bump. And he just, he did it. So, I mean, it's the kind of person he is. He'll do whatever he's got to do. Like I said, 3 weed whacker shots that one time. I mean, but it just don't matter. And I tried to put him in positions to get the fans to respond to him. Same thing I did with anybody like that. White beater wasn't always,
Right.
over like he was. And they don't care. It doesn't matter. He can go off one of the things I always wanted to do was go off the arena roof out back in the parking lot there. And he could probably take that bump and it wouldn't make a difference.
Yeah, he can set himself on fire, cut off both arms, and take the bump. And
Yeah, I don't think it'll work. So it's definitely a different thing there. He may need to find somebody. Like we said, he's not me. You know what I mean?
right, and he can't be.
And he may need to find somebody. You ask a fucking jerk off like Carluzzo. You know what I mean? Carluzzo's a fucking two-faced, backstabbing motherfucker. I guess God rest your soul. Or wherever you're at.
I think he's in hell.
Yeah. he would have Donnie B would be his like booker or whatever, and then Dennis would be the one doing everything, but he would tell Donnie B. So if the heat came down, it would be on Donnie B, and Dennis would be like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll straighten him out. I'll straighten." But it was Dennis doing the whole fucking thing. So you put a front man in, and then you get a heavy. You get Harley Lewis and Derek Domino. They're going to beat you up if you don't listen or do what you're told. I mean, that was the way how Carluzzo did it. So me, I never really did things that way, but maybe that's something that he may need to put somebody in the position that will be the promoter or
Right.
whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know. The whole heavy beating people up. I mean, I don't think that's needed. It shouldn't be needed
Right.
anyway. But actually, he's not a little boy. He should be able to handle that himself. If he's got to scoop somebody up once in a while and tell them like it is, that's what he should do once in a while. Not scream and holler at everybody every fucking show before and after.
Because it just almost got to a point where it was like phony baloney drama. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if you always comfort somebody, it becomes bullshit. If you always
Right.
yell at somebody, it's bullshit.
Right.
Like you said, if you mix it perfectly, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you put the right ingredients in, it would work. Where it's just
Right. And I'm not perfect because I
No.
mean I've done wrong at times, but there's a certain way you gotta talk to people, and he don't. From what I understand, he don't have it.
you came in and wrestled Brain Damage. What were your thoughts on that?
I hated it. I don't know. It just fell apart. It just wasn't nothing good about it. Luckily, I got a couple punches in at the end. I don't know if he hit his head or something, because it went bad, and I called some things in there, and he said at one point, he said, "Take it home," and I said, "Dude, we have the punch bot." And he said,
And that's what the match was built on.
And he said, "Take it home," or something. I said, "Dude, we got to punch." And he's like, he didn't want. I says, "Dude, come on, we got to punch. Start punching." So we started. We did a couple punches. It wasn't a lot, but I thought there was going to be a whole lot more than what it was. It was like a couple, and he really didn't want to do it. So I don't know. I know he was upset after the match and all. Maybe he was overwhelmed. Maybe he thought it was going to be more than what it was. We didn't have a whole lot called. You know me. I don't
Right.
call big long
Right.
matches. It's we're going to do a little this, a little that, and then all the other bullshit in the middle. It just happens, and I don't even think our bullshit jived. You know what I mean? The shit that on the fly. It just didn't go. I don't know if he was nervous. I don't think he was giving me enough. I think he should have been giving me more, and maybe he wasn't. You know what I mean? Because I'm who I am to him, and I love Brain Damage. I think he's
Right.
a great dude. He's very respectful. Always asks like my opinion and other people's opinion, and after he does punch somebody's lights out, he's like, make sure they're okay. I mean, he's a really good guy, and he does love it. And I remember when he first came to CZW. I don't know if it was at a Cage of Death or what. He said, but he thanked me. He says, "Dude," he says, "I got to thank you so much." He says, you don't know. This is like WrestleMania to me. This is awesome. It was like that great feeling. Probably he'll never forget that feeling, and I'll never forget him telling me that. You know what I mean? He felt like that, and that makes me feel good that was one thing. You'll be able to provide that platform for these guys to go do that. Sometimes it's nice to make the money, but at the end of the day, when somebody comes and thanks you like that, and it's so heartfelt, it's just as good as a fucking paycheck.
What you said about Drew Blood signing the autograph.
Right. Yep.
Then you're faced to schedule Masada at Tournament of Death, but you want to get into what happened there?
Just the back, I just couldn't do it. And I called did I call you?
You called me.
Did you say you weren't booking that one or something?
I already quit like a week
You
or so
booked
before.
it, you booked
right.
it, but you quit.
Right, yeah.
But I let DJ know. I told him, I said, "Dude, I don't know what's happening. The back was just bad." And so I just didn't do it. And that was it.
Do you think do you want to wrestle again? Or is it?
You know what? When I left CZW, I wasn't going to wrestle at all. And then I said, you know what? This is where I make money. Let me start. So I put my feelers out, and I talked to a few people on the internet, and there were some people who were interested in me going to Mexico, a thing in Russia, something down in North Carolina. So I had these things that people wanted me to do, and then I'll be honest, I just kind of backed off of it. And I don't know why. I don't know why I did it. If it's just not in me, if I don't feel it, you know what I mean. I can't get myself motivated, you know what I mean, to do it. And And that's just, right now, I just don't have any motivation to do it. And the back's not good. I mean, it's still, I don't know what's wrong, and I don't want to know. Well, you know what I mean?
Right.
I don't even want to know, but I got lower back problems, and when it goes, it goes, and it takes me therapy after therapy to get it back, and I'm good for a while, you know. But I could go in the ring and take one bump, and the next, I'm out, and then I'm out,
For
work and everything. So, that's kind of being a businessman. You know what I mean? You gotta know when to,
the short payday is not worth the
right, exactly.
3,
what could
4,
happen?
5 weeks.
Right, if I get hurt, if I hurt myself, but it's still not saying I'll never do it. I mean, I'm getting too old, really, I'm getting too old to keep doing it anyway. Really, to do what I do anyway. You know what I mean? If I was with friggin' Vince, I could go out there and do what them dudes do. But what we do, I mean, there's no sense in me getting in the ring and doing a Trent Acid match. You know what I mean? I did always want to wrestle Trent one time though. I wrestled him in Japan, but I always wanted to have like a good singles match with him in the States because I just always wanted to have that.
What are your thoughts or memories of having your banner put up in the arena?
What is that for what? For
Roger, yeah.
I don't know.
Is what it is.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't jump up and down and get a hard on over it. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a nice gesture from them. You know what I mean? Like Roger did it or whatever. But I mean, who's Roger? You know what I mean? He's a manager or a guy who rents a building that we rent off of. I mean, it's not like Vince McMahon gave me a banner or something like that. It came from Roger. Or it's not like. It would mean something more if
It came from your peers.
Yeah, if DJ and the guys got together and gave it to me, But it was that was basically here, John. I'm going to stroke you a little bit. I fucked you, for so long, Every time I turn around, I got fucked by him. You know that.
You'd have to reach around finally.
Yeah, So.
The reach around.
Somebody
banner.
was shooting on me in the ring over there. I think it was that fucking pig, Axel Rotten. Pointing up, saying names up there, and he made some kind of fucking comment about John's. Who the fuck's that? Like, why is that name up there? Somebody told me that was said.
What show was that at? The thing that Francine did, they had that Q&A.
Oh,
They did the Q&A.
And didn't he shoot on me or something like
Yeah,
that?
it was during the Q&A.
You fat fucking low life wannabe cab driving motherfucker. Axel Rotten, you were a piece of shit fucking 10 years ago. You're a fucking piece of shit now. You're a fucking scumbag. You came in my fucking building in fucking Sewell at the soccer arena. You watched a couple of young boys go out there and kick some ass. The match was so fucking good, you got fucking scared because you couldn't top it and snuck out the fucking back door, you fucking pussy. Where the fuck you think your name belongs? Up on the fucking taxi cab, you fucking goof. Smack you right upside your fucking fake blonde fucking head.
So the banner means nothing to you. We'll do some name association. Some of the guys, different throughout the year, and we talked about them, throughout the interview. Just some closing thoughts. Maybe like some behind the scenes guys, like Wax. Thoughts.
Good
Trent.
guy. He's a good guy overall. Excuse me. Do anything for anybody. Did stuff for CZW for free for years and years. I mean, he was, a light guy, helping him with the ring, helping with everything. Wax is always there, and that's why I gave Wax a plaque. I mean, plaque to me, like I said, if it came, like you said, come
Right.
from your peers. Like when I gave out them plaques, I mean, it was a few $100s worth of friggin' wood or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like before I left, I wanted to do that, and there was a few people that I wish I could have did more, you know what I mean? But
Right.
there was a few key people that I felt needed that, and I hope Wax, understands how much I appreciated him. That's why I did give him a plaque. And even you take a guy like John Dahmer, he's not a main eventer, no offense, Dahmer, but he was with me from the beginning. Worked for free many a times. He always did whatever you asked him to do. And that's why I kind of gave him a plaque, you know what I mean? And it came from the heart. It was
Right.
somebody, he was there being stuck around, did whatever, watched other young kids come in and go right on past him. I mean, that's got to be hard. But, I mean, he knew his role.
Right.
He knew where he was, and he might not have liked it all the time. You know what I mean? But he always, he did what he had to do, and I appreciated that. And that's where a lot of those little plaques came in. It was me appreciating them people, and I think coming from me in the ring in front of people, I hope they understand where it was coming from.
Atticus.
He's a good guy. He's still around. I mean, he still texts me and calls me. When I first started in Mantua, him and his kids used to come on the day after and help me clean up. Trash was everywhere. We would all be cleaning the trash up. His family, his wife helps out. She's a nurse. Yeah, he's a good guy. He's another one. He loves the game and he wants to be a wrestler, but he just doesn't have that natural ability that some people have. And I know he's tried and he's done little things. And
I think he's going to start again, doing shows.
He messes around with somebody. He's talked to me about
Right.
it. He took me out to dinner. He took me and my girl out to dinner. Maybe 4 or 5 months ago now or something. And he was talking to me, asking me if I'd be interested in, getting involved somehow with wrestling and all. And I told him right now, no, I'm not. But he did that one show over there at the old Champs at the old soccer arena and had a stroke shortly thereafter. I don't think it was all related to that, but that was a part of it, I think. You know what I mean? I think it was just way too much stress on him with other things in his life and then trying to get into wrestling. Because he told me, he says, dude, you were right. I'm done. So now he's like talking like he wants it because it's still in him. You know what I mean?
Right.
He wants to be part of something. But no, I love him. He's a great guy. He would do anything for me or my family. And he always checks up on me. You know what I mean? There's always, I'm always getting text messages. Like the past 3 months or so, I really haven't been talking to, or even answering the phone. But he was, keeping in touch and sending his, his words and his thoughts. So yeah, Atticus, he's a good guy. He's a good friend. He calls me his brother. I mean, and I accept that. I am your brother. So I'm like the brother he never had.
Chad Shaft.
Don't really know Chad that good. I'll be honest. That was Wax's friend.
That was more Wax's
boy. I didn't even know that Chad was one of the ones that dude in the audience going boo most of the time. The most annoying fucking noise I ever hear. It'd be like for no fucking reason. You hear a boo and I'm like, what are you fucking stupid? Did you not just see what I seen? And he was the fucking one out there doing it, But other than that, I mean, but I mean, he's a fan. I mean, he's a fan of CZW, the old CZW, maybe not as much now. But, I mean, he's a big wrestling fan, and he has a right to his opinion, and I know he types some shit online at times. I have nothing real bad to say about him. I don't really know him that well, so nothing real good to say either. Although, I mean, he was Wax's sidekick is what he was, and, that's about all.
Hartog. I don't think we ever brought him up.
He loved it, man, Payne fucked him up pretty good with one of those Payne thrower fucking moves on his shoulder. And another time messed up his leg, I think. But he was working at his regular job and then doing our thing. And then I think his company closed up and he had to go to like truck driving, like over the road, like long distance
haul.
truck. Yeah. I haven't really talked to Rob in a long time. But I just ran into his daughter at the bowling alley. I took the kids bowling and. One of his little daughters, if you remember, like the youngest one, she's working at the bowling alley now, and she's standing there like this.
Do you know
and
me?
I went, Hartog? She says, yeah. So, yeah, he's still around, but actually the company we work for, some of the people who worked there, I think, bought it and reopened it, and I think he's back there again, so good luck, Rob.
Who else? We'll throw it. How about Rockin' Rebel?
I think in my garage I still have the fucking 2 bottles of fucking little bottles of whiskey that he brought me to the first show that he came to in over at the Champs, I think it was, trying to get on the show, or I don't know if he was booked or what it was. He's always trying to give little gestures. Yeah. I don't know. Another thing, I always thought that motherfucker was older than me, and he's not. I said, God damn, the fucker's younger than I am.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I thought he was. That's what I told. I said, damn, you old motherfucker. I don't know. He's one of those guys still trying to make a go of it, wanting to be a big star, and he's not. he's a mediocre wrestler. I mean, he has a decent build. He's not a small man. You know what I mean? He's got good mic skills to a point. You know what I mean? But he's just never going to be one of these people that everybody goes crazy for. Not at like a CZW show. I mean, he may be able to pull that off at some little, a little high school show maybe or something like that. He's a heel. He tried, going in the back door with us too. I think with trying to get Ring of Honor in over there at the fucking arena. I remember, and I got the call that they were coming, and me and Wife Beater showed up on the same fucking day. He came walking in the fucking door with his wife. I think it was just him and the wife, and it was supposed to be somebody from Ring of Honor, but I don't think they showed up or something. And he just walked in the door and was like, oh, what are you guys doing here? You know what I mean? But he didn't know. Everything he said, everything he was talking to people about, I was getting the feedback, so I knew it was coming.
Maven.
Maven's a good guy. He loves the business. Do anything for CZW. Thanked me a million times over every time he's had his couple WWF or WWE, tryouts, or anytime he gets any kind of a big thing, it's like, John, it's, because of you, it's CZW. If it wasn't for you, thank you. If we don't have enough money to pay him for the fucking, the promoter license or the insurance or whatever, then he waits. You know what I mean? He'll take it out of pocket just to keep things going. So I don't think you and him get along. You don't like him that much, do you?
He's fine.
Fine. I didn't. I thought you didn't like him or something. I have no problems with him. I think he's a good guy. I think he's a great character too. I could see him with Vince being, one of those dudes that he's got on there. I mean, he's fucking. He again does whatever the fuck he's told. He goes the extra mile. Some of the shit he does is silly. When he does his own little shows, he's always he'll do Zandig or Butcher or Hulk Hogan or whatever. But that's the fun part of wrestling, though. You know what I mean? So he's going out there having fun. And then when it's time, he's got to take a chair shot. He'll have to take a chair shot too. But I like him. I think he's a good guy, and I think he's a company man. I think he's about the whole thing, just wanting the whole thing to work over there. So hopefully he stays around, and I think he's an asset to a point.
Stronny and Sabina.
Fucking Scrawny's the hardest working guy in CZW, and not to take away from Sabina, but we just don't see her running around like a lunatic. You know what I mean? Yeah, they're good people. I think at one point, I think Sabina was getting herself talking to Johnny Kashmere a little bit too much. A few years. I guess probably
that wouldn't have panned out.
Quite a few years back. No, I don't mean sexually. I mean him, obviously. But Scrawny would have a better shot. No offense, but I love you.
Right when the PWU started.
Yeah, and I think there was some negativity coming, and I think there might have been some meetings going on over at the arena I heard about, and I confronted them and talked to Sabina and stuff, and I think she said that it wasn't so, and there was a lot of strange things. There was people saying a lot of different things, but all in all, I mean, they're good people, and they're the same way. You know what I mean? They're all for the company. They just wanted to do good, and Scrawny said, "I'm quitting fucking 100 times over," but he keeps coming back. So I mean, they're just like I said, they're really good people, and they keep in touch. How you doing and things like that.
Sabian there.
Black Jesus. No offense. Wants to be Trent Acid. He wants to be that fucking key player. He wants to be that go-to guy. And just never got to that point. I don't know, maybe someday, brother, you will, but he just wasn't, he wasn't. And it's, and he wanted to be, and I know he wanted to be, and it just never happened. That's something I can say about him. Again, but very respectful and hard worker, trained very hard to get where he is, and you see the body he got. He didn't start out with that, and I don't know where it all came from, but it's not just, these guys that take the steroids, it ain't just that. You got to work, too.
Right.
You can take all the steroids you want, but if you don't work, you're not going to get nothing. So I'm proud of him. It's just like him and Joker, because they worked hard. And I watched them train to get to where they got. Yeah, and I think they're great. And same thing with you with Snowflake. I know you and Joker.
Z-Bar.
That motherfucker just needs to keep his mouth shut. He's got a big mouth and it just never shuts. You know what I mean? Should have kept that mask on him years ago.
His sidekick, Burke.
You know, is he a mess right now? Have you heard?
I haven't heard. Has he been at the
A
shows?
mess?
I heard.
How?
I heard he went to drugs after Trent.
I hope not.
Oh,
And-
yeah, I didn't hear anything like that.
You didn't hear nothing like that? 'Cause
No.
that's what I heard. I mean,
Yeah.
I hope it's wrong, but I did get some feedback.
I know he took it really hard.
Yeah. Other than that, Burke is just he's another one of those mediocre guys. He can't get to that Trent level. You know what I mean? Or one of these guys that are in that level. He's just not going to be there. You know what I mean? I like him. Again, very respectful. He's always, John, what do you need? Like, one time I lost a phone and I needed the phone. He worked at a singular store and he came over and he gives me a phone and he says, I put 100 minutes on it for you and your name's Bob Jones or something, you know what I mean? And he hands me a phone. I mean, so he good guy, always like trying to come up with good ideas. Sometimes it's all about him, but other times it's not. But he's just like a mediocre, like I said, he's going to wind up always being like in the middle, like a good hand, I guess you could say. You know what I mean? Just not going to be that fucking top line guy.
Yeah.
I think he was a champion for 30 seconds one time, wasn't he?
Right, yeah. Yeah. I think sometimes he's his own worst enemy.
Yeah.
Kind of like Barr.
Yeah, well, yeah, his mouth keeps going in a different way, though. Barr
Right.
just. I think I told you guys before, the best thing about that thing I remember about Barr is when he was going to fucking quit school, and I told him nobody in CZW fucking quit school. I said, everybody here graduated. I said, you quit school, you ain't fucking wrestling here. And he graduated.
The last guy out of that Philly crew,
Excuse
bless you, Cashmere. Now that he's finally out of the closet.
You know, the out of the closet doesn't change that he's a mental case. You know what I mean? I mean, we always thought for years that he was, a fruit cup. I mean, the Japanese knew it immediately, or they wouldn't have been handing him roses. I'm talking about the boys, not the girls. But he's just I think he majored. It was his major was like in psychology or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
I just think he reads way too much into things. He gets his head gets going, and oh man, I don't know what goes on up there, but I think he needs some medication.
We'll go over the main guys. You know, what I mean, the guys that pretty much the company is built on to finish out. Blade.
Well, one of the first real good high flyers, that I watched, in person, and it came along quick, you know what I mean? And then we had the issue with him breaking his leg. That was my call for that spot, to do the double table spot, but the tables are supposed to be side by side, and Blade put them on top of each other, and when they did the bump, he, hit him and snapped his leg. And that sucks, but that was kind of like the end. I don't know if he felt like that was our fault or my fault or whatever, and then later on, we did get him to come back for a short
Right.
thing, and I
Any
remember
raft ones.
Shorty said something to him in the back, but after his match, how was it? And I just heard somebody told me that she said something, sucked, it was fucking horrible. We ain't never doing this again, or something like that. And I could see her saying that to him, and that was kind of the end. But I mean, he was, a lot of people kind of started making their moves off of him at a young age. Nobody knew who he was, you know what I mean? But they started seeing him on tapes, and then all of a sudden everybody was doing Rick Blade moves as far as I was concerned.
Another big high flyer that progressed above CZW, Sanjay Dutt.
He's a good wrestler. He hung out at our shows for months, and I never used him, and finally I did. Good worker. Since he's became the bigger star or beyond CZW, I think he's cut back on what he does. So that lessens him, as far as I'm concerned, lessens his value because he don't do as much. I think he's pretty smart business-wise too. It's like, he knows what he wants to make. He's not going to work for peanuts. I'm not going to pay him the kind of money that he wants, you know what I mean? But he kind of, some guys will go to fucking Germany for $150,
Right.
DJ will go to Germany for fucking free, you know what I mean? Just to say I went to Germany, But Sanjay's not fucking doing that, So I think good businessman, all around, definitely better than average worker, and can be way above average when he wants to.
Right. I don't even think he wrestles that much anymore, does he?
He was getting a college education while he was at it, while he was wrestling. I don't know what he was going to college for. So That's another smart thing. It's one thing with a lot of wrestlers, they know nothing but wrestling. That's all they fucking know, and it's like you can't just rely on that. You need to have something else going on, so you got something to fall back on.
We
Go ahead.
we had that discussion on the way down, like no bank account, no driver's license.
Right.
You know, live for wrestling once or twice a month.
Ruckus is probably like that. I'm going to guess. I mean, because he always has people driving him around. You know, is he even with CZW anymore? Or no?
Yeah.
Oh, is he still there?
Yeah.
I didn't know because him and DJ don't really hit it off. Trent was, you know, on again, off again with the license and the jail. I mean, you know, he's going, but you know, that's a fucking problem. These guys. That movie again. To get back to that movie, that's that part of, you know, that guy. There is some of them out there. It's not all of them. Like, you don't put Sanjay Dutt in that category. You know what I mean?
Correct.
And many others, you know. But since we talk about Sanjay, that's the easiest way to go. Trent and Sanjay, two totally different people. Work-wise, they're both great in the ring, or good in the ring. But as, you know, having their shit together, per se, Sanjay had his shit together. And
Danny Havoc.
I gave you the story, right? How he showed up at the school and drove all the way from friggin', where did he come from?
Iowa.
Left his girl sitting in the car for like 2 or 3 hours, you know. Took him out to dinner, got him a couple newspapers, says, this is where you find work, this is the area for good, cheap apartments, and that's the best I could do for you. And he said, all right, I'll see you in a couple months or something. And next thing you know, I got a phone call. Hey, John, I don't know if you remember me. And here it was him. And he says, me and my girl moved up here. We're in Woodbury. We got jobs, and we're going to get our shit together, and then I want to start. And that's history right there. As far as I'm concerned, that's somebody who took his dream. He said there's 2 things he always wanted to do. He said, I want to marry my high school sweetheart, and I want to wrestle for CZW. He married his high school sweetheart and he wrestled for CZW. So I guess in life right now, he's done it all. You know what I mean? He may need a little more than that later, but you know what I mean? When he came here, and I was proud of him. I mean, he worked hard. He's another one that, you know, the bumps ain't as perfect as they should to be. So you know what I mean? And you know, he does the hardcore, but I like him. I think he's I think he's good.
Who should we end with? We'll do the final 3. Which way do you want to do them? Gage, Logo, Wife Beater.
I guess finish with Lobo because he was the first one.
Okay.
Gage was fucking right there with him. And then
So we'll do Matt.
Oh, Wife Beater. I mean, he hit me in the fucking head backwards, fucking with the chair backwards the first time we fucking first started that first blood match. Went to give him a Frankensteiner in the ring, practice. Fucking dumped me on my fucking head. I had a concussion for like fucking 6 hours. Kept saying, a little stiff, huh? What happened? I didn't tuck? Everybody, he was scared. He was crying. He was done. He was not going to wrestle again because he thought he killed me. And I don't know whose fault it was. We obviously wasn't taping. We were just at practice. And I was walking around outside going, where's my truck? Where's my truck? That dude, Ace Robinson, walks up and he goes, well, ain't this your car, John? And I said, oh, damn, I must have drove the car. It was right alongside of me. And slowly my brain must have been swollen, you know what I mean? I was just, it was crazy. And all of a sudden, everybody was upset and crying. And then I was like, I guess I came out and I said, damn, I'm hungry. You guys hungry? You know, like in the hospital, everybody's like, what? What'd you say? You know, it's crazy. That would have been neat to see that on film. But yeah, Matt was like done, man. He was like so upset over that because, you know, he was new and, you know, green. He thought he hurt me. Well, I guess between the two of us, I don't know whose fault it was. You know, I mean, like I said, I kept saying what happened. I didn't tuck. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking I didn't tuck. But we went a long way, obviously, after that. That was kind of the beginning of meeting Matt. And then we did our traveling. And again, he's another one. Did whatever he was asked, you know. Former Marine, you know. Kind of isn't like the wrestlers per se, you know what I mean? He came and did his thing, you know what I mean, and then and got out, you know. Every once in a while, Matt would get a little fired up and laugh and tell some jokes, but he didn't hang around. That was a good thing about him. He's a great guy. Now he's got, I guess, 2 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, two kids and married, and just bought another house. They moved to a different house a few months back. Yeah, he was kind of he came back a few times for me to do a run
Right.
and stuff, but he didn't really want to. He was just kind of, all right, I'll come do it. He's like, I'll do whatever you ask. He was a good guy, and still is. A lot of matches. I can't even remember them all. You know what I mean? He was like one of the closest to my size, so it was
Right,
kind
it
of good.
matched up perfectly.
Yeah, matched up.
Gage.
Nikki Ace Robinson said, "I got these two kids. One's about 6'2", and one's about this." And here he comes with skinny ass Justice Payne and this bearded kid, Nick
Right.
Gage. It's like he's fucking 17. I don't know. He's 5'9" or 5'10", and he's. But they brought them guys in, and Nikki's like, Nikki was the little brother, obviously, to the fucking what's his name, and they came in and they did everything in the ring, everything wrong, all wrong. But they had no fear, man. Nikki, the way they bumped and the moves they did, it was like, didn't know how to do nothing, didn't know how to hit the ropes, did nothing. But they listened and then picked it up like that. And it was so easy. It was so easy with Nikki. And the only problem we had with Nikki, it seemed like he was always in the shadow of the fucking brother. The brother always had to be in the spotlight. And I don't know why that happened. I don't know, maybe if it took Nikki a long time to kind of, nowadays, Nikki just walks in, and anywhere and he's a god. Right. But it wasn't always like that with him, And I think part of it was because he was kind of in the shadow. And I think he did that himself. I think he kept himself reserved and let the big brother out there, I guess that's maybe like a little bit of respect or something for him. But, he came a long way, and which is good. And he's still there. He's the last of the fucking...
He's it.
Yeah, he's it, of the last of the originals. I know he's one of these guys that needs to get his shit together, though. You know what I mean? He's fucking... Yeah, he's just... He really needs to get his shit together. He needs to fucking... I'm glad he's still with CZW. I'm glad he's one of the lone survivors there. I just... he needs to... Nikki, brother, just get your shit together, man. You know what I'm saying. Love you, dude.
Lobo.
Lobo walked into the wrestling school when I first started it with a flyer that he got out of a video rental store. He comes in, he's holding the flyer up, and he goes, "Is this the right place?" And I says, "Yeah." And, what do you want to do? And, I want to be a wrestler. He just came by himself. A lot of times people go to try out, they bring their friends with them and everything. He just, all by himself, come rolling in. It was just me. I was the only person because I just started. And got up in the ring and gave him a tryout, and the tryout was good and quiet. Didn't talk much, didn't say much, but he did, did whatever. And then we became friends because he started working with me. He lost his job. He came to me, had a job, then lost his job. So he started working with me, and I would take his wrestling school money, like coming out of his pay. We would go out a couple times a month, staple gun posters, flyers up the things. On the way to work, we'd be fucking, I'd pull over, he'd do one side of the street, I'd do the other, you know what I mean? We'd be out hustling, doing what we're supposed to be doing, getting the wrestling company started, getting the shows promoted. But he was another one, real nice guy. Got to know him real good through between working and wrestling. Wrestling, he would again do whatever. Didn't matter. He'd take any bump. That big bump that we did back in Manchester. You guys are probably there when we put Lobo on top of the Pyramid of Hell and Payne came jumping through the roof. Well, I looked at this roof thing and I looked and Payne came and I says, "Yo, what do you think about dropping a leg through that roof on top of Lobo through some tables?" He's like, "I don't know." He said, "I guess." He said, "Lobo all right with it?" I said, "I don't know. I didn't ask him yet." So we get, I think the day of the show, I think it's the day of the show, I get Lobo over. I said, "Yo, what do you think about him dropping the leg?" He goes, "I don't know. I guess." I said, "All right, we're going to light the tables on fire." All right. So we do that, and then he takes the bump, and it's huge. Everybody goes nuts. And afterwards, I said, "Everything all right? Were you all right?" And he says, "Everything's all right." He says, "But man, it was so fucking hot. The flames were burning from the bottom. And like, I'm thinking I'm Mr. Safe. I had marks on the floor where we were going to put the tables
Right.
and everything. Had paint on the roof before so he could look down and see where he wanted to go. And fucking here, I never thought, we're lighting the tables on the bottom, but I didn't think about how hot it was going to be on the bottom. And he says it was so fucking hot. He's laying up there and the fucking tables are fucking, you know, it was like burning. He was like cooking up there, you know. And I didn't think about that. Obviously, the faster you do it, the less heat it's going to be. But you got paint up there, probably looking down, waiting for flames and seeing flames, probably like, holy shit, I got to really do this. You know what I mean? And we're all just starting out there. You know, but that was awesome. But then we had Lobo was down there playing dead. This is the fucking funny part. He's down there playing dead, and we had a EMT, a dude, and a girl, and he's down there not moving, and just like, you know, like he's dead. And fucking the EMT goes over and he fucking grabs his nose and fucking puts his lips on him, starts giving him mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, and it was the fucking dude. And Lobo's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? He said, and he couldn't move. He's thinking, this fucking guy, what's going on? Oh, man. And then somebody caught it on film, so it was like, oh, it was crazy. It was awesome. That was, God, he'll never forget that. He's got a little baby now, too. Married with a kid. Oh, God. Yeah, he touches base with me every once in a while. I seen him at he came to my son's funeral, and we went out stopped at the VFW and had like a beer or something, you know, like 1 or 2 beers after the funeral, and then he headed home. But now Lobo was he's always there too. If you call him and you need him, you know what I mean. It's like he would always show back up to do something, anything to help the company. I mean, it kind of CZW helped his dream. He was an ECW fan, you know what I mean, and he got to do, you know, CZW, which is, you know, basically same fucking thing, you know. So the one thing I regret was only being able to. I only took him away like one time out of the country, and him being like, to me, one of the top guys, most loyal guys. But his job always demanded him to be here. And then he worked for a friend of mine. You remember Leon with the trucks? Right. So it was like he worked there, and like I got him out of work to do like, you know, the 1 week or 2 week tour in Japan, but he couldn't afford not to. You know what I mean? I remember I did a show in Paulsboro and had to drive in the back of the truck in a parade with the Iron Sheik fucking. It was cold out, and we're back there in Gimmick fucking doing the fucking wave to all the kids like a Christmas parade. It was in the back of the old white 4-wheel drive that fucking I used to have. And yeah, Dennis Carluzzo got me and the Sheik out there waving to all the little kids in a whole parade. I did a match with him too. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Yeah, it was me and one of those copycat demolition guys. It wasn't one of the originals. It was the third one, and it was somewhere way up in North Jersey. And they put me with him, and I wrestled against the Iron Sheik and fucking Nikolai Volkov. Sheik says, "Oh, you big babyface. You're the big babyface." He says, "Oh, you take me up, get me up for the big slam." He says, "But then when you slam me," he says, "sit me down real easy." I said, "Oh man, this old dude." And we go out there, and I'll be damned. Before I slammed him, I don't know what this friggin' this imitation fake demolition guy did to fucking Volkov, but Volkov started pounding this dude. I mean, pounding him hard. I was like, holy shit. And I was a baby face. I mean, I shouldn't have went in to cut it off, but I seen it. He was killing this dude. He was pounding. So I went in and fucking nailed him from behind and like kind of broke it up, you know what I mean? And like, yo, get back to reality here, you know what I mean? I don't know what the kid did. He did something stupid, but he was fucking him up. And then I did wind up slamming, what's his name? And, you know, I set him down as easy. You can only set him down so easy. We get in the back and he's like, he goes, oh, good. You give me a good slam, good baby face, but please, next time, more easy. Like, oh my God. That was crazy.
Anything you'd like to say in closing?
I don't know. Fuck all these motherfuckers. Fuck all you doubters. All you naysayers. CZW has been around the fucking world. I've been around the fucking world. Ticket selling comments. You fucking people are a bunch of fucking jokes. You fucking idiots that used to wrestle for Carluzzo. Assholes. Donnie B, you were a fucking asshole. You probably still are a fucking asshole. Who else we got out there? Derek Domino. fuck you. You're a fucking pussy. Is he still alive? He should be fucking.
I have no idea.
I don't even know if he's
think he
alive.
is.
He's ran his mouth. I read some fucking article in an England magazine, him like shooting on me about something. Like, what the fuck do you got to shoot on me about, motherfucker? You know what I mean? Jealousy, I guess. What else we got going on? Who else? I guess we still that Necro still got me pissed off. I know he's your boy, but you know what I mean? Necro, you're a fucking asshole, dude. You fucking wasted so much fucking of CZW's fucking money. No showing, not getting on the fucking plane. You're a fucking mess. Hollywood. Yeah. Remember when you were over there, Necro, at the fucking trying to make the movie? You didn't even have $1 to buy a fucking hot dog to eat. You were fucking starving. Who put money in your fucking pocket? Who went and talked to the fucking producer and fucking told the producer to give you some money fucking ahead of time so you could fucking eat while you were up here making a movie? Yeah, that was me, the guy you fucked. You piece of fucking shit. That motherfucker pissing me off. I'm telling you know what I mean? Shit like you do things for people and then they stab you in the fucking back like that. I can't even remember everybody I need to fucking talk shit on. There's so many fucking there's so many of you fucking jerk-offs out there and you all know who the fuck you are. Who? Who? You know.
Ian.
I don't. Huh?
Ian
Ian who?
Rotten.
Ian Rotten, he's a piece of shit. Didn't I already tell everybody about him fucking crying on the fucking thing? He's always got something to fucking say. Motherfucker, is he back in business
No.
or what?
I think he's out now.
What's going on now? You're going to come back and you're going to do another show to raise some fucking money? Because you're fucking, you got something wrong with your brain or your fucking back hurts, you need a fucking operation, then you make the money, then you don't pay the fucking boys? You fucking scumbag. How many of you boys out there have been robbed by Ian Rotten? What do you think?
A lot.
A lot. Yeah, that's your friend. A fucking lot, you fucking scumbag.
Well, you asked me a question.
Yeah, I did ask you a question. Motherfucker, all you do is talk shit on people. You're a fucking... John, you know what the fuck you are. You're a fucking sneaky, lazy fucking jerk-off. And you take advantage of all these fucking kids out there. You put them through fucking hell. Then when it comes time for you to take your bump, please don't do it. Please, please, I'm scared. You fucking puss. Who else? I know they're out there.
Dennis.
Dennis who? Carluzzo? Well, everybody knows Carluzzo's a scumbag. I mean, I don't really want to talk about a dead guy, but I mean, he is. If I'm in his fucking office talking, and I'm in there, and he's on the other line with, who's he on the line with? Say he's on the other line with Derek Domino. Why he's fucking talking to me, and he's got Derek Domino on the phone, he's fucking looking at me and going, yeah, this fucking jerk off. Or Donnie B's on the other line, he's like, hoo, yeah, like Donnie B's a fucking homo. I don't know, is he? Is Donnie B gay?
I don't think so.
All right, I don't know, but that Dennis used to make gestures about that. I know he was your boy, but that's what he used to do. So, you know, he's a fucking scumbag. He really is. I mean, you know, he's dead, God rest his soul, but fuck him. Larry Sharp, same fucking thing. He's a fucking scumbag. Tries to make money off all these little fucking kids, fills their heads full of fucking dreams and gives them fucking nothing. Talks nothing but a lot of fucking shit.
Todd Gordon.
Todd Gordon. You know, Todd, you got fucking DJ syndrome. You're not fucking Paul Heyman. You know what I mean? And just like DJ's not Zandig. Get over it.
Pitbull.
Pitbull. Well, the one that I like is gone, right?
Right.
Yeah. And the other one, I don't know, dude. Are you still doing cheerleading? Weren't you supposed to take the arena and push CZW out and you and Kashmir and the cheerleading? Is that what it was? Where's that motherfucker at now? Jesus Christ, you're ridiculous, dude. Give it up.
Balls Mahoney, I think, screwed you over at one point.
Balls Mahoney, you fat fucking no talent pig. Yeah, he screwed me over. Well, I was in Japan, I believe. I believe I was away, and he came to the show and did some kind of half-ass fucking bullshit. Yeah, fuck you, dude. You got nothing going on. Santa Claus. You fucking asshole.
Jeff Rocker.
Jeff Rocker. I believe he tried to start a promotion that, you mean SpongeBob, right? The guy with the big space between the front teeth? Yeah, SpongeBob. Yeah, he fucked us. He tried to fuck us, tried to start a fucking wrestling promotion down in Delaware. That motherfucker don't even live in the state anymore. He fucking screwed up so bad. Wasn't so easy, was it, fucking Rocker? They're all the fucking same. Fucking...
Jim Kettner.
Who?
Kettner.
Kettner. Well, that motherfucker was trying to get on Trent and fucking Johnny Cashmere years ago. Is he still fucking boys?
I think he's out now.
He's done.
Huh?
He
He's
sold
done?
off his promotion. Yeah.
Promotion? So he ain't fucking little boys no more?
I never know that he did.
What are you talking about? Eddie Valentine worked there.
Okay.
Come on. Eddie, fucking Johnny, Kettner. I mean, come on. You sick fucking bastard. Feinstein, I think I said enough about him. He's just a fucking, he is what he is, a pedophile. You know what's fucked up? The fucking pedophile, I think I just heard he was at fucking CZW. What is he? He's selling CZW tapes now. Does he go in the fucking building?
Yes.
He's in the fucking building with DJ, who is supposed to be the owner of fucking CZW, and Panko. Is Michael Panko still at CZW?
Yep.
Mike, you told me you would never fucking be around Feinstein. You didn't want nothing to fucking do with him. Now he's in the very same fucking building with you. I don't know, dude. I mean, business is one thing, but you're a pretty smart dude, Mike, and I don't know how you could even be in the same fucking building with that fucking scumbag. He's in there looking at fucking boys in the ring. Who knows what he's doing in the car outside in the parking lot during intermission? This dude's got fucking problems. All yous. DJ, what the fuck is up with letting this guy in the fucking building? What'd he sell? Fucking 2 tapes at the fucking show the other night? That don't justify him fucking working for you. Get rid of the motherfucker, DJ. Grow the fuck up. You can be all the businessman you want to be. But fucking you gotta get the right fucking people around you. And let me tell you, Feinstein ain't fucking one of them.
Roger.
Yeah, Roger. Here you go. There it is, brother. You might as well fuck me again. You fucked me enough. This motherfucker. Are you still trying to be a wrestling promoter, or did you give that up too? Are you still trying to have a wrestling school, or did you give that up too? Sell your fucking hot dogs, dude. Pay your fucking rent and let the wrestling people do what the fuck they do. You're always trying to jump on somebody's fucking bandwagon. You see somebody making money and you think you can fucking do it. It's not that fucking easy. Not everybody can be a fucking wrestling promoter. Not everybody can be a wrestler. But you know what? Anybody can sell a fucking hot dog, so why the fuck don't you stick with that? And you know what the fuck I'm talking about, Raj. You fucked me many fucking times. This ain't the fucking first time you heard it.
And I'll end with a doozy. Greg Serb.
Greg Serb, the boxer. You hate fucking wrestling. That's your problem. You're fucking 5'5", you fucking pussy motherfucker. You caused me nothing but problems since I came into Pennsylvania. You cost me thousands of fucking dollars, trips up there to see your fucking ass in fucking Harrisburg. I don't even know why the fuck you're there. You're fucking ridiculous. Making up rules as you fucking go along. Wrestling is deregulated in Pennsylvania. Deregulated. Get it? It has nothing to fucking do with you. It's entertainment. When Vince is in town, you don't bust his fucking balls. Why don't you leave fucking CZW alone? When fucking CZW's got a show going on, there's 10 other people in the state of Pennsylvania doing shows. Where do you got your people? At a fucking CZW show. And every time you send somebody to a show, what kind of fucking reply do you get from them? They don't need to be watched. They're very fucking professional. Don't bother. Leave them alone. Yeah, Craig, I know. I've heard them. They've told me that. You're a fucking asshole. Wrestling isn't real, I guess. I don't know. Boxing is. So you got something against it? Too many fucking trips up there to see you, Greg. You make me fucking sick. You're a fucking Napoleon power freak. That's what the fuck you are. Get yourself a pair of high heel boots and a fucking skirt. That's what you need, you fucking bitch.
I got nothing after that.
I don't know. Anybody wants to see some more, fucking give me a list of the motherfuckers that talk shit on me. I know there's more than that. Any of you people out there, send fucking an email to Smart Market. Fucking let me know who's running their mouth. And if they got something to say to me, and I'll reply. All right? Let's do that. Peace out.